So it's been a year since this. And this.
Sometimes I think we're all your children.
And this. Holy moly, what a year it's been though. Disney backed out and chose not to renew. Ncuti Gatwa blamed his exit on his poor knees. We then had radio silence for 12 months and then we got a random surprise announcement basically saying that the poo had really hit the fan. The BBC announced that the Christmas special is cancelled. Russell T Davies gave a rather emotionless statement saying, peace. Bad Wolf and the rest of the team are also no longer involved, and to top it off, the supposed script was apparently never even written in the first place, so there was no plan to begin with. Oh man, that's so epic. These are all telltale signs of a show that's in a great position right now. But what this does mean is that the Russell T Davies 2 era is officially over. I mean, I was waiting on the Christmas special before concluding my review series, but I guess that's never going to happen. So, cheers everyone who's involved with that decision. All of those super fun plot threads and teasers we got will never ever be answered. Isn't that so cool? I do, however, just want to say a huge thank you to my channel members, including you absolute mad lad Malcolm Hope. Thank you for supporting the channel along with all of my other channel members. Oh my god, you guys should definitely join today. It's so cool. So previously, I made a 7.5 hour video watching back over my 5 hour long tier list video, adding more insight and reflecting on the mistakes that I made, as well as cringing at myself quite a lot. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing again today, guys. I'm going to look back over my Russell T Davies 2 reviews, and I'm going to see if I still agree with them, or if I hate them with a burning passion now, which is probably going to be more likely the case. All I can say is, if you've not seen those review videos, please go and watch them first if you want to, or you can watch this video. It's just that I'm going to be pausing and talking a lot for it. So yeah, if that's fun for you, then stick around, I guess. So yeah, get yourself a snack and relax as I look back at my past reviews and see if my thoughts have changed or if I'm still as right as ever. I also want to point out that I finished recording this video 2 days before the announcement broke that the Doctor Who Christmas special had been cancelled. So at this point in time, I was just an innocent, clueless little baby boy who had no idea about the bleak future ahead. Oh, so adorable. Anyways, enjoy, guys. It's been a whole year since the reality war. And oh my god, what a year it's been. We've had absolutely nothing. Nothing. It's a miracle how us YouTubers are still uploading at this point, because we have had nothing. Anyways, guys, as I said, if you've not seen my series 14 and 15 reviews, the links are in the description, because I'm gonna be interrupting this one. Either way, sit back, relax, guys. Let's reminisce and look back at the Russell T Davies 2 era. Just quickly before the video starts, I want to say a huge thank you to my channel members. You guys are absolute legends. I appreciate it. Oh my god, there's so few of you. What the hell? And most of them are still here today, so thank you guys. That's so lovely. Feel free to become a member and support the channel today. That'd be greatly appreciated. I appreciate that this channel's been a little quiet for the last few months. I have re-recorded and re-edited this video multiple times. But it's done now, guys, so I do appreciate my channel members and the rest of you that have waited so patiently. Get yourself a snack and enjoy this little video. Bye. Let's go. Doctor Who, a show about a face-changing alien who battles against monsters to save the day.
This world is our fortress, accompanied by many things. I am Jezebel, Queen of Tyre and Sidon. We take charge over this realm and command our force and power over the people. We shall bring forth dictatorship and world domination.
So for those of you that were confused by that joke, that was just a random reel that come up on my Instagram, and I thought, you know what, that sounds like something a Doctor Who villain would read out. So I used the Davros clip from Series 4 and put it in there and thought, this is a cracking joke. Went on a bit too long though. It's been running for almost 61 years at this point, yet the poor thing has been dwindling since the Capaldi era. And after the Chibnall era, it needed a tasty little revamp before Russell the Tank Engine took the reins. My god, ladies and gents, has it been a hell of a year. Doctor Who announced it was being yanked by Mickey Mouse himself. People in the UK were told, hey, you'll be getting midnight releases, so you'll have to stay up really late whilst the Americans can enjoy the show at tea time. Haha, screw you, Lamau. Davros is no longer... Looking back now, the whole midnight release thing is so insane, isn't it really? Don't get me wrong, like, if it was just streaming, then fine. It's the fact that they were airing it later that day on BBC One, and then everyone complained about the viewing figures. It's like, of course it was going to go wrong. Of course it was going to be a bad idea. Why did I not see that when it was announced? Davros is no longer half Dalek because of wheelchair people bad, apparently.
And there's a problem with the Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user. I had problems with that. I say this is how we see Davros now.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, as progressive as I am, I'm still completely against it. You can't just change an entire character because it might have offended someone. At that point, you just don't bring that character back. You just say, right, that was a testament of the times. We leave it be. The whole point of him being like a half Dalek was that was his life support machine. That's how he was alive. So you take that essence away from him, he's just a guy. It takes away pretty much his entire backstory. So, in my opinion, should have just kept Davros in the bin. Good Mark Goldbridge. Ncuti Gatwa was announced as the 15th Doctor, and of course, it didn't take long for the degenerates to reveal themselves. Then, people were really angry when Ncuti Gatwa made a joke about twerking on a monster.
Come on, monsters! Let's go. Everyone better be jumping.
Those same I was so proud of that joke, by the way. I made that myself, that meme. I was hella proud of that one. Those same people are now the people you'll see commenting on every single Doctor Who video saying, sorry, wasn't watching this. I was too busy touching grass. Yeah. Or they'll comment something like, rest in peace, Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017. Oh. However, today... Literally, and do you know what's funny? It still happens today. Oh my God. The amount of YouTubers, everyone in the YouTube space that makes Doctor Who content, there's always some fucking melon being like, rest in peace, Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017. Doctor Who died when Peter Capaldi left. Acting like you watched the Peter Capaldi era. These are the same people that freaked out when the 60th anniversary was announced and they thought that Rose was going to be a replacement for Rose Tyler. Like, they did not get it. These people have not watched the show, probably since the Russell T Davies 1 era, but they love harping on like, oh yeah, Peter Capaldi era, yeah, I definitely watched and enjoyed that one, yeah. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Doctor Who didn't die in 2017. It kept going. Just because you didn't like it, didn't mean it died. Hey guys, I am back, ranking and reviewing Doctor Who. Seeing as you guys love it so much, I have a tier list here, ranking from perfect all the way down to god awful. I'm about to rank and review all episodes from the 60th anniversary to the end of season 1. Zooey mama. However, please remember guys that this is just my opinion, and I know some of them might grind your gears, but it's my opinion, alright? We're completely entitled to our own. Secondly, I've had to take time off work to make this video in a timely manner, so please just leave a like or something, or subscribe. Only if you enjoy it, of course. This was becoming a really big problem with my work. Like, because my videos are so long. They're always like an hour plus, right? The main channel videos. Literally, I just could never get it edited in time. And my time management was so bad. And I was having to, like, use my holiday. I've not been on holiday since I went to Milan for 2 days in 2024. And that wasn't even a holiday. That was like a 2-day trip. All of my holidays I've booked off work are for making YouTube videos. And you know me, being the avid David Tennant fan that I am, I was super excited to see David Tennant returning as the Doctor. And after 2 painful years, we finally got to see him back in action. So I say without further ado, strap in, get comfortable as we review this controversial season of Doctor Who. Let's go! Oh, I love this intro. This intro was great.
Now, if you are a regular side trekker over on
Big
the
man
channel, you'll know that I have pretty good sources over at Hollywood that tell me a lot about what's going on. And
oh my God, we have the same hair now.
This to me. He's told me that Russell T Davies effectively being fired.
This show had...
Still waiting on that, by the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he's leaving this year, but he's not been fired yet.
Has never crossed the 5 million mark.
This guy's an absolute swat.
It's been abysmal from start to finish.
This guy's
I've been calling since the beginning that this Doctor Who wokeness was going to be an absolute failure, and everybody's pretty much tuned out at this point.
Doctor Who simply refuses to be flushed down the toilet like the turds it is. Since so far every episode has been even more gay than Brokeback Mountain, the Doctor and Ruby have to save music from an insane cross-dressing freak called the Maestro, who is as...
I like how each clip I've used just progressively gets worse and worse.
Cringe as he is gay.
It's not working, BBC. It's just not working, and you have to admit it. I mean, who could have seen this coming, right? We've been warning that the woker the show got, the worse the ratings would be.
Doctor Who is dead, and it has been for a while, and whatever hopes people had were completely dashed with the 60th anniversary and the Christmas special.
This is the fantasy of the left, that they are so terrifying that the mere mention of them makes normal people run in fear. Maybe they're just running away from your stench. I mean, haven't y'all decided that showering and using toilet paper isn't environmentally friendly? Also, normal...
I love the fact, sorry, I'm about to just ruin the drop. I love the fact that, like, despite them all being complete fucking idiots, the only one that makes absolutely no sense and is just incoherent, just screaming, is Bolstrek. Everyone else, like, they think they have a point, which is fine. Have your opinion. Bolstrek, he's just going off on some tangent that is just completely made up in his head.
Maybe they're just running away from your stench. I mean, haven't y'all decided that showering and using toilet paper isn't environmentally friendly? Also, normal people might just be concerned...
Also, has anyone seen clips of this podcasting that they used to do? I've seen it a few times, and oh my god, it's the most awkward, boring thing I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing. It's so fucking boring. Look how unimpressed they all are, by the way. They all look like they hate what they're doing with their lives. There should have been like a title card there, I think. So we start with the 60th anniversary specials. The Star Beast.
Once upon a time.
Oh, spit my tea down me. Why did they have this as the opening shot?
Once upon a time.
That is the one shot from the 60th anniversary specials that I do not understand how that got past the edit, genuinely. It's awful. It's such a terrible shot. They could have just had him on a white background, a black background, or have him in the TARDIS. I think someone re-edited it and like put him in Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS. It looks so much better. Having him just standing on a green screen in the middle of space, it's hideous. Or if they're going to do that, don't do a full body shot. Start from the chest up. Don't do the whole body standing in the middle of space. It just looks, oh mate, it actually baffles me why on earth this was even a thing. Don't get me wrong, I get why they're doing this. It's to get all the new viewers up to scratch, and that's what Disney wanted. Oh, David. At least we've got sick news. It's like they either did a shot way too far out or a shot way too close up. Like that shot there, that's a fine shot. That's how it should have just stayed. Although his hair, looking back now, his hair is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Why is it so... Why can't they get his hair right, man? Don't get me wrong, I get why they're doing this. It's to get all the new viewers up to scratch, and that's what Disney wanted. But look how awkward this shot is. It's awkward. I get you got like ultra HD bloody 4K 8K cameras now, but I don't need to see every pore of David Tennant's face. As much as I love the guy, it looks uncomfortable. At least we've got a sick new title sequence. Yeah, this is going to need to be fixed ASAP. So the Doctor's literally just gone from being game-ended by a big sentient laser ball thing to just skipping around Camden Town. Honestly, only in Doctor Who could this happen. But he bumps into Donna straight away, literally 1 minute into the episode. I will say, the dialogue in this opening scene is actually very, very good. It's clear the banterous dynamic has clearly not lost its touch.
You can wear a suit that tight up to the age of 35 and no further.
And the joke that Donna always misses... I've got 9 more years of wearing tight suits that I don't usually wear. Get in! Everything still ongoing is still hilarious. However, this idea that Donna gave every single penny away from winning the lottery is such a ridiculous notion. She won £166 million. She could have literally given away 150 million of it and still been completely set for life. Donna should literally be awarded an MBE or a knighthood or something for that. That's so true. I don't get me wrong. I know they had to like reset her character because obviously her being mega multi-millionaire, you know, it isn't going to work, right? So they've obviously had to reset her character, but to say that she gave away every single penny and that it was because of the Doctor, you see what I mean? They put themselves on the back foot, I think, with this. She could have given away 165 million, and she'd still be a millionaire if she kept just 1 million. You know what I mean? It's annoying. The sequence in which Sylvia is talking to Donna about getting it right in regards to Rose is really nice.
Mm-hmm. When I say she looks gorgeous, is that right? I mean, is it sexist? Never said it to him when he was... Oh, sorry.
It's showing someone who is trying to be supportive and understanding in a topic that is highly sensitive. Because most people Sylvia's age would go, What you identifying as a fucking fridge? All these genders and that. Oh, mate, I'm surprised you don't identify as a fucking desk. Anyway, so I've noticed, right? It is massively a generational thing, right? The amount of I'm talking family members, I'm talking people I've worked with, customers I've spoken to, clients, whatever. They all say the same sort of thing. Oh, it's all bloody ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, those woke teenagers, they've got it so easy. They just sit there on their asses behind their phones. They got it so easy. All they do is go around and identify themselves as a fucking penguin or something. Oh, they've identified themselves as a doorway. It's a lot more complex than that. When people have said, like, you can identify as anything, you are your own being, be yourself, you identify as who you like. People love being pedantic, right? People love being like pedantic little knobheads, right? People have taken that and they've gone, oh, you can identify as anything, can you? Yeah. And you've seen that interview with like Piers Morgan where he's like, oh, I identify as a black lesbian, actually. And it's like, you're just taking the piss. You're making it look stupid. And the amount of times, like, I've instantly lost respect for someone when you start talking to them and then they do the whole, like, oh, yeah, here we go. Which one are you, an Xbox or a PS5? Right, go to bed, have your soup. Come on, it's dinner time for you. Come on, it's time to change your commode. Anyway, so the Meep has crashed to Earth and then gets found with this hilarious 10 out of 10 sequence.
And there's no monster. Oh, for the love of God, none of this is real.
Right, let's talk about this sequence.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
Yes, sorry, good point. Are you he or she?
Yeah, this comes across very public service announcement-y. This line is meant to be a joke, but Yasmin Finney's delivery of this makes it sound preachy and a bit standoff. This is where I get annoyed with Russell T Davies. In their eyes, they're doing the right thing here, and they are. But it's also like, they do it in a way that makes it look like it's very preachy, and you just think, oh, for fuck's sake. This wasn't needed. This changed nothing. Especially the standoffish attitude from Rose. I mean, the whole purpose of Rose as a character, absolutely useless. It's like, Russell has included this character. It's like, oh, we're doing some trans representation. It's going to be great. Proceeds to make her the most useless character in the entire show's history. It's like, you're not helping yourselves, guys. I think maybe having Sylvia say this line instead, in like an attempt to show that she's understanding of the topic, would have made this joke funny. But it just didn't come across that way at all, and yeah, it pissed a lot of people off. So the unit soldiers get involved, and then we get some Russell T Davies explosions. Man, good old it's been RTD. So long since I've said this. Wow, the Doctor's new Sonic has the ability to make bulletproof shields. I'm sure this feature won't be forgotten in season 1. So let's talk about the one thing I don't understand about this episode. The Doctor needs to make sure that Donna doesn't remember, because she will burn and she will die. So he basically just starts waving his sonic screwdriver around, literally gives it to her, and then talks about him being an alien. What is this writing? I think the 60th anniversary was definitely plagued with, like, having the need to have so much happen. Like, oh, we've been given 3 specials to just go nuts. I think there was a lot of thought that didn't go into this series of specials. The Meep then turns out to be Big Bad Boy. Sorry, Big Bad the Meep. However, I must say, the Meep looks amazing in this, and Miriam Gargoyles is fantastic.
I started to cream in my knickers. I could feel it.
Primary ignition signature installed.
They all talk to themselves when they start up their ships or villains, don't they?
We do that in our cars. Time to turn the ignition on.
That might make drive more fun.
Turn on the air
I might just start
conditioning.
doing my daily life like that.
Having my morning piss.
Igniting bladder sequence.
Bladder at full capacity. So the only way for the Doctor... Oh my god, I'm so funny. Aren't I just funny? It's true though, I don't know why villains do that. Entering the doorway, emulsifying the gravity field. It's like, oh, stop. Just do it. So the only way for the Doctor to save the day is to make Donna remember. And it is a really good scene, and I think that the idea of the meta-crisis being passed down actually works, and is plausible. And the genius coincidence of the non-binary line makes it hilarious, but that should have been it, right? That should just be it. Meta-crisis over. But of course it's not.
It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand. Just let it go.
You're a smelly man. Women are great and have the ability to let it go, unlike stinky boys. I cannot help but get irritated by lines of dialogue like this. Moffat used to do the same thing.
The only time I've been a man, that last body. Dear Lord, how do you cope with all that ego?
It just screams that a male writer that's pandering to females wrote this. If we're taking this progressive route with diversity and equality, then it should not come at the expense of taking digs at certain individuals. You're essentially fighting spiteful comments by using spiteful comments, which in my opinion defeats the purpose of the show being progressive. And that's when it comes across as preachy and somewhat condescending. The resolution could have been so much more. So much more! Yeah, see, not only does it give grifters fuel, right? The grifters' thoughts are like, oh, their intention is to brainwash us and our children. They're going to brainwash everyone. But when you see lines of dialogue put like that, you can't help but go, oh my God, it is very pandering. Like, holy moly. At times, it just comes across like some writers just massively overcompensate. And I feel like Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat do fall into that category sometimes. Because they feel like, oh, because, you know, men have, you know, ruled throughout human history, I suppose. They feel the need to be like, but men, they've got fragile egos. They're hella stupid, aren't they? They're hella stupid, these men. Hella stupid. Yeah, we know. Everyone knows men have fragile egos and hate having their feelings hurt and hate being told, you know, what to do. The only people that don't realise that are the grifting knobheads. But most normal, functioning men know. It's like that Sabrina Carpenter song, Man Child. If you're offended by that song, then the song's about you. Most other men are vibing along to the song, right? He does come across like Russell and Stephen sometimes overcompensated, which, you know, I don't think you should just have everyone involved. If you're going to do inclusivity and you're going to do progression, have it equal for everyone, I think. Stop saying, oh, this used to be like this or this could be like this. Just do it. And it will make it normal. Build up was needed because this episode was so fast paced, I'm surprised there wasn't any bloody Subway Surfers playing alongside it. The idea that Rose always felt like an outsider, yes, that's all great. But cheap shots like, men dumb, women brilliant, really doesn't help this show's case. And I will say this, Yasmin Finney, the acting is poor, right? Like, her line delivery is not good at all. She has like no emotion in her face whatsoever. The visuals, barring the intro, are fantastic. And Murray Gold is back and his soundtrack is booming. The banter was like it never left and David has aged like fine, fine wine. God damn. Also, guys, we do need to talk about this TARDIS. When I first saw it, I absolutely loved it.
Whoa! Oh, I like it.
You can
run through.
Look at that Disney budget.
Oh, it's got mood lighting.
He's got the LED strip lights.
It's gorgeous.
I don't know why this makes me want to cry.
There's something so nostalgic.
I hate watching these reactions back because, like, just seeing the hope in my face, like, so excited. Like, I've waited 2 years for this very episode. I've made a whole channel because of these specials. Like, I'm super excited, and I'm just full of hope and whimsy that I'm just being so blind. This is why, like, I think social media has ruined everything, right? Because if this was just on TV back in the day, you'd watch it, and then you'd have to buy it on DVD if you wanted to watch it again, right? I had to watch it 3 times that day, and then I realised there's a lot of issues here. That's mainly because I think anything's better than Jodie's dimly lit box room TARDIS. Actually, I think as time has gone on, this is the first TARDIS that I've started to actually dislike. Like, sure, the console itself is really cool, there's a lot of ramps to run around in, and there's mood lighting, but what's the point in having all this space to run around when we spend about 2 minutes in the TARDIS every episode anyway? I just think they've gone for bigger is better, which, trust me bros, adequate size is usually quite good, right? I think we could argue that every character sort of portrays the Doctor's personality, whereas this TARDIS, it doesn't do that at all. I don't know, let me know your opinions, because I'm a bit conflicted. Sometimes Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I don't really know. So apart from a few gripes I had, alright guys, I do actually think this episode is good. It had that Doctor Who feeling that had been lacking for so long. We had Russell T Davies, David Tennant, Catherine Tate at the helm again. Oh my god, life is good. Oh, I get irritated with myself when I watch these back sometimes, because I've spent more of this talking about the bad stuff. What parts were good? Nostalgia bait tickling everyone's plums, and that's why I'm going to be putting this episode in good. Next up, we've got Wild Blue Wonder. Susan Twist! Susan Twist! It's crazy how, like, a year and a half has passed since I've made this video? It was, November 2024 I made this. Yeah, so a year and a half. And my opinion's changed. That's why these videos have to be remade. That's why I'm remaking the whole Doctor Who video, because, like, my opinion's already changed. Yeah, I do not like this intro at all. It is so cringy. Wow, gravity has been changed to mavity. I wonder what relevance this will have in the future. The Dr. Donna land on spooky spaceship, and the TARDIS turns into a massive pussy stool.
Go.
Kick its ass. Donna said a swear word, naughty. So they find out they're at the edge of creation and something strange is going on the ship. The slow build up to this episode is absolutely fantastic, which inevitably leads to things going tits up real quick. Before it all kicks off, you see the cold breath and the sound of squelching when Spooky David walks in. I need to watch this episode again. The same then happens for the Doctor the second Donna walks in.
My arm's too long. Look.
What the fuck? Cheese and rice, it hits the fan. Some insanely crazy visuals. And David Tennant with his monotone and relaxed delivery is absolutely fantastic.
The notion of shape is strange.
Yes, the green screen is questionable and the visuals aren't amazing, but my god is it creative and batshit crazy. And again, that's Doctor Who though. This is what Doctor Who should be, just crazy experimental, questionable visuals. You're like, yeah, it ain't big budget Hollywood, but it's so creative and different and weird, and that's what makes Doctor Who Doctor Who. This episode is Doctor Who perfection. I love it. The scene where you're unsure who is absolutely magnificent. There's this powerful sequence relating to the timeless child, and David shows more emotion than Jodie did across 2 damn series. This is amazing. The scene in which they figure it all out. Excuse me. What the fuck? Who wants my attention? The scene in which they figure it all out, albeit slightly dragged out, is great too. You, the audience, feel like you're all working it out together without all this excessive techno babble. I love it. Which leads to this seriously intense ending. The ship is going to self-destruct and the Doctor selects the wrong Donna.
I hope he's picked the right one. Has he?
Oh no!
Oh, please tell me he knows. Please tell me he's
What is it with me doing the constant Ariana Grande sleeves? I had like a weird Ariana Grande phase at this point. Not like I didn't actually was a fan of Ariana Grande. I just mean every time I wore jumpers, I had to wear the sleeves over my hands.
Stupid.
He knew.
Oh! What's happening?
What a tense and brilliant sequence that was. And the cherry on top of the sweet, sweet cake is Wilf!
Oh, my goodness.
Man, Bernard Cribbins was so inconsiderate, passing away during filming of 60th anniversary. We were robbed! We were robbed of one final Bernard Cribbins Wilfred performance. But at least we got him. We got him, right? And I was rewatching, was it Clever Dick Films' Doctor Who documentaries, and he just talks about Bernard Cribbins in some of them, and I'm just like, man, I fucking love Bernard Cribbins. Oh, wow. This is Doctor Who, man. Yes, the visuals don't look all that incredible, but my God, this has such an incredible premise. Fantastic performances, gripping throughout. I absolutely love this episode. Well done, Russell TV Davies. I would put this episode in perfect if it wasn't for that intro and some of those sequences just dragging on for slightly too long, but you cannot deny this episode was absolutely brilliant. This episode, guys, is going in great. Which takes us on to episode 3, the finale, The Giggle. The episode kicks off introducing us to Neil Patrick Harris as the toy maker, which makes for a really intriguing, comedic and offsetting opening. Oh, that was a tongue twister. But David and gang go to unit because the world is going absolutely doolally, as you can see from these 2 clips that they show. But luckily, unit have this convenient armband that doesn't make them go mental.
I've seen you walk. I've seen you walking. Don't deny it. No, you can't stop me.
And basically, it's just used as a way to jab at COVID conspiracy theorists. Nice one. But it turns out that Neil Patrick Harris is having a good old chuckle behind every screen or something. I do love the reveal when the Doctor finds the toy maker. That damn soundtrack.
The toy maker.
That's
Such a good soundtrack. It's so good. I really want to do a video talking about my favourite Murray Gold tracks, because no one's music in the history of the world makes me as emotional as Murray Gold's. There's that bit in like Martha's theme that I just adore. Let me see if I can find it. Does that not just make you want to cry? Because that makes me want to cry. And obviously there's a whole catalogue of Murray Gold beauties. Like, I don't think there's ever been a soundtrack composer. Like, the man's been doing it for years and years and years as well. And he has made banger after banger. So I'm just, wow, what a man.
The Doctor and Donna have this really touching scene. But what I noticed on the rewatch, these dramatic moments with David, I just really struggle to take them serious because of his hair. His hair is so bad. Why did they do it like this, man? He has such beautiful hair. I get it. He's not the 10th Doctor. This looks so ridiculous. Then we get even more of those trippy visuals, which I absolutely love from these specials. Even the Scottish puppet.
He's a bumhole lover, this one. Dirty little bumhole lover.
The toy maker then...
Sorry, I forgot I did that. That's funny. God, I sometimes sprinkle a little epic joke.
And runs Donna through what happened with all the companions since her. Just choosing to ignore Bradley Walsh and the rest of the gang. Fair enough.
I love it so much.
It's fun as well, do you know what I mean? It's a fun episode.
Oh, I just hate watching my reaction. I'm just such like a blubbery mess. I'm just like, I love it. I think it's epic. Shut up, man. Grow up here.
It's a cool episode. I'm loving it.
I love it. Oh, nah. I can't deal with it. It's the constant like, wow. I come across like such like a fucking brain dead moron.
But just as David returned, oh, the pain. So yeah, the Doctor bigenerates. What? Literally, the only reason I'm not losing my marbles at this is because it means that the 14th Doctor is still out there chilling, which I like because I love David Tennant. However, this raises so many bloody questions. What is the number one thing to do after we've just had a huge lore change with the show? We do it again. This bigeneration thing could have literally been a result of like the toy maker playing a game and fucking about with reality. But no, it's an ancient myth that has now become true.
It's so annoying, isn't it? Like, literally, you've got a god there that bends reality, right? And fucks about with what you're seeing. Like, there is a perfect explanation for bigeneration right there, right? Just have the toy maker be like, fuck this, I'm gonna split you into 2 so I can kill you again. It will make sense because he's all magic and stuff, and we don't have to use our brains too much. And then Russell comes out and he's like, every single Doctor, like, has been split into 2. Isn't that crazy, man? That's absolutely crazy. I've tried to do the accent. I can't do it. But he's basically come out and said, like, every Doctor now bigenerated, and it's a myth that's now true. I just hate that. I hate it so much. At times, and don't get me wrong, I love Russell. I love Russell with all my heart, right? But he does come across sometimes like he has an idea and he goes, that's perfect. Put it in. And it's not actually sat and thought, okay, what implication does this have? Obviously, nowhere near to the detriment like Chris Chibnall. Like, Chris Chibnall was just on a warpath to absolutely just destroy everything you could possibly like about Doctor Who, to be honest.
Just another lore change that just raises so many more questions and doesn't even get explained, of course. The 3 men then play a game I never got to play with my dad, and the toy maker gets banished. We seriously just watched a sentient being lose a game of catch, and that's how the day is saved. The TARDIS then gets duplicated, sure. And then Shooty's like, can you fuck off? Yes, the ending to this episode is very, very nice. We see David, my doctor, happy.
Who'd have thought I ended up with a fairy?
Oh my God, I got it wrong.
I've never been so happy in my life.
Oh, this is
This finale, guys, is disappointing. Upon a rewatch, these specials feel so underbaked. The pacing is so fast with a random one-off episode in the middle. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that Wild Blue Yonder is with David and Catherine. However, I feel like this should have been in season 1, and the 3 specials should have been a 3-parter, a beginning, a middle, and an end. But these do just feel like 3 loose episodes put together.
I still just don't understand why they didn't do that. Like, Doctor Who has typically always been a multi-part story. I just don't understand why they didn't use the 3 specials as an opportunity to do a beginning, middle, and an end. It just seems like it was separate episodes with, oh shit, the planes are crashing, the Toymaker's here now. Like, it just didn't seem coherent.
Duty brings really great energy, and David, as always, gives a great performance, and it's a really sweet ending for his Doctor, and it's time to say goodbye to him again. Yes, it was a fun, nostalgic time, and ultimately, it was just a slight letdown in the end. Guys, this episode is going in okay. Ho, ho, ho! It's Christmas 2023! And it's time to get started on the Ncuti Gatwa era. The episode starts with Mystery Woman leaving baby on Church of Ruby Road. And then we see Ruby with Davina McCall as a great, genius way to dump exposition about Ruby. And okay, now the Doctor is dancing in a nightclub. Yucky, yucky. The Doctor dancing in a kilt. Ugh, yuck, this show's so woke. Ugh. Get over yourself. Okay, now the Doctor's
I can't deal with like the amount of people that were being like purposely obtuse. Oh, look at him in a skirt. Look at him in his skirt. It's like, it's not a skirt for a start. But also, first of all, why does that matter? Second of all, it ain't a skirt though. It's obviously a kilt. A gay black man in a kilt? What? Well, that's obviously a gay... That's just woke nonsense. It's just woke nonsense.
Snowman falling on him. Honestly, we're like 7 minutes in and we haven't sat still yet. Then we get to meet Ruby's family and introducing me to my favourite character since Wilf, Cherry, Sunday.
I am not going anywhere. Shackle me to this bed. And where is my cup of tea?
So they order a baby from Amazon, which then gets stolen by these gobbly goblins. And their whole shtick is that they find coincidence tasty or something. Guys, don't get me wrong. I get that this episode is like whoop whoop Christmas fun times, but Mavity gloves, the sonic click remote, and being able to speak rope. Like, come on, this is not exactly smart writing, is it? But hey guys, at least we get an epic musical number for some reason. Yes, the Goblin King looks absolutely...
God, you know what? This era really isn't good, is it? It's so nuts how your view of it changes over time. But like, again, there's every aspect of this episode is bad. Speaking rope. What is that about? Mavity gloves, cheap cop-out. The musical number is a bit cringe. It ain't great, is it?
Fantastic, right? In fact, all of the visuals in this episode are absolutely stunning. Really showed off that sexy Disney budget. But time goes all funky, so the Doctor just murders the Goblin King. Yep. He saved baby Ruby with this convenient catch, then just stands there whilst her mysterious mystery mother just strolls off. Didn't think to stop her or say hello, Doctor? No? Okay. This episode is just meh.
It's not meh, it's
energy
bad.
Is absolutely amazing, but I didn't feel like I really got a sense of his Doctor other than just, honey, babes, isn't it? Babes? Yeah, babes? A Doctor's first episode should give us an insight to their overall character, but I think this Doctor just comes out and is all like, hey, it's me, I'm really happy and full of energy, that's it, that's my thing. And Millie Gibson in this episode was fine. I've not really got too much to say about it, but that's about it. Yes, the visuals in this episode are phenomenal, but cheap MacGuffins and lazy writing brings this episode down to just okay.
I don't know why I'm so scared of just like being brutal. And listen, I know I recently made my Russell T Davies video and I was like, I'm gonna really like consider this is a person behind the writing, right? Yes, and that is true. That episode wasn't good. The Church on Ruby Road sucks. It's a bad episode.
She starts this series of fourth wall breaking, which really makes me angry.
Never explained either. No, fuck off. No.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us on to the official start of Season 1, Space Babies. Yay, they fixed the intro sequence, but it's still out of sync. Yuck. And because it's Russell T Davies too, there's no time to breathe. So the Doctor spouts all of the exposition we need to know, which I'm usually all for, but this is essentially a complete reboot. This does need to be explored for a new audience. We can't just be like, I'm the Doctor, I'm from Gallifrey, I can regenerate, haha, let's go fly the TARDIS. There's this joke sequence where Ruby steps on a butterfly, and we see the Doctor breathe regeneration energy into it, bringing it back to life. And that got me thinking, now that the Doctor's all like immortal and can just regenerate forever and ever, does that mean like he can just breathe regeneration energy into everything and bring everyone back to life? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Epic shot of TARDIS landing on Satellite 5.
Most of the universe is knackered.
Yes, that is a brilliant line. I love that line.
That is a good line.
Wow, incredible looking monster, I cannot lie. But it becomes very apparent that this was just for the trailers because after this point, we only ever see it on these god-awful CCTV shots.
Shit! Fuck me!
Then we come to this sequence, which is the clearly...
Also, rest in peace, KSI, the Sidemen. He left the Sidemen yesterday. Which I gotta say, I'm not surprised. He's definitely like in the Sidemen some days the least, I suppose, out of all of them. They're all getting to their mid-30s now. They're all settling down. They're all having kids. I don't see how much longer they're going to go. I reckon they'll end up all branching off and changing soon. Because, yeah, like they're like 33, 34 now. It's like football with YouTube. Especially when you've got a young audience.
Creation of the scene from The End of the World, where Ruby calls her mum.
I'll catch up with you in a minute.
It is really crazy to me that these two scenes were written by the exact same man. However, none of the emotional beats hit the same. And listen, I get it. They're two completely different characters. However, I don't get the sense that Ruby is at all overwhelmed by anything, and she's constantly like, "Wowee, Doctor, how wonderful. Oh, this is fabulous. God, you're so amazing." Rose just felt like a human being to me, and one that was completely out of her depth, which is realistically what Ruby should be feeling as well.
We've been waiting for an awfully long time.
Oh my god, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. Have I had like some sort of amnesia over like the last year or something? I tell you what, it's because I haven't looked at this era for over a year. Like I genuinely, like once Reality War came out, I was done, right? I was fed up. After I made my season 2 review, I was done. I've not looked at anything season 1 related, series 14. Series 14 related since I made this video because I get angry thinking about it. It looks terrible, man.
This don't look good at all. So it's clear that all the Disney budget went in the first joke because, man, these babies don't look great. And upon a rewatch, I get more confused about the premise of this episode. To me, it's like an episode of a cartoon. Oh, intelligent talking babies running a spaceship, but still poop themselves, lamau. Also, the Doctor traumatizing the children and finding it hilarious is also really strange to me. It just seems really out of character.
Guys, that is weird, right? Some people disagreed with me on this point, and they were like, "No, he's just playing with them." They're all screaming in terror, man. They're all screaming in terror. It's not like fair enough if the babies were like, "Ha ha ha, Doctor's so funny." They're not. They're all terrified, and he's there like laughing his head off. Gotcha. Well, bazinga moment.
We see more shots of mysterious woman pointing. Ooh, how ominous. This woman must be really important.
She ain't though.
Then it starts snowing. This seems to happen throughout the series and just never gets explained. And listen, I'm going to get this point out of the way now. I'm holding off criticism about the whole snowy stuff because I'm expecting it to be explained in season 2. However, we haven't seen it yet, so I'm just holding off my criticisms for now. Oh my god, baby has been game-ended. JK, he somehow ran away from the monster and hid in this locker. How did he do that then? How did he do that? Anyways, it turns out that the bogeyman is made out of bogies. Ugh. So Nanny's like, yuck, I hate bogies, and tries to game end it. And the Doctor's all like, nah, the bogeyman is one of the children or something.
Such a
so the
stupid
bogeyman starts getting
episode.
sucked off, and then so does the Doctor because he tries to save it. But of course, the Doctor does save him, and then it howls like a wolf or something. Then the ship gets like its travelling power by farts. Yes, all of those things.
You think of Rose, the 11th hour, you know, deep breath, and then you got this. make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Are really what happened. So here's the thing. I think my initial reaction to this was like, oh my god, new season of Doctor Who. Yay, it's so fun, it's so fun. But if we're talking about story...
Man, I'm loving this Mark Goldrich meme.
Ncuti's energy is fantastic, but I am still not familiar with what kind of Doctor he is. Sure, he has some absolute sass, Yas Queen and all that, and he likes to traumatize children, but what else is this Doctor about? And the same goes for Ruby, other than, wow, I don't know my mum. Who is me mum, please? I don't feel like I relate to her character in any way other than her just being excitable with the Doctor. But it is early days, guys. It is very early days. The visuals in this episode are absolutely sublime. Ncuti is great fun, and Murray Gold played his little heart out with some great little bits of soundtrack in there. But the story is so weak. The babies look awful, and the whole premise actually just doesn't make any sense at all. This episode, guys, is going in not for me, mainly because I will never ever watch this episode again, just like 99%
but I
of
will.
Doctor Who fans.
It's called The Devil's Chord.
Tell me more, sir.
Yeah, this episode really just wastes no time getting into it at all.
Them.
What?
Me.
What?
I'm them.
You're who?
You're who?
See, guys, this use of pronoun correction is hilarious, and anyone that genuinely got offended by it needs to go and have their heads checked. Wowee, Jinx Monsoon is fucking incredible in this. Yeah, I mean, that was a bit weird. But damn, what an intro to the episode.
No, guys, they're brainwashing the children. They're brainwashing the children, obviously.
Big transition from piano into theme tune. Frickin' love that.
Like a sound you hear that lingers in.
Yes, you see, this is what Doctor Who should be. Travelling to different times, showing them getting excited, getting changed into the eras. I love all this stuff. I also really like in this sequence that we don't use the psychic paper, albeit very convenient. And before this episode was released, I did wonder how they were going to go about using Beatles music because, yeah, they're not very nice when it comes to using their songs. However, they did it in a way that I was not expecting.
I've got a dog.
He's called Fred. My dog is alive, he's not dead. I love my dog, he loves
Susan
me
Twist!
too.
Susan Twist! There is this wonderful sequence with the Doctor and Paul McCartney talking about how music has fallen, but deep down they know music is there. Then Maestro puts a stop to it. Oh, yeah, love it! And there is that Russell T Davies cheese again. Yes! I
It's
also
very
really
cheesy.
love the reference to the Doctor living over there.
I live over there.
You do what?
I live over there.
What do you mean?
I love this reference because I always wonder, wait, the Doctor has been here before. What if he bumps into himself? So it's good that he addresses it here. Also, probably a little foreshadowing. Susan coming back, who knows? Anyway, Ruby plays a little tune, and as you can see, it's definitely really her playing the piano. But then Maestro appears, so the...
Sorry, I just realised how wrong I was. Silly me.
So the Doctor absolutely shits himself and runs away.
You survived.
It tore my soul in half. I can't survive that again.
I'm not being funny, Doctor, but it hardly looked that traumatic, mate. You were literally parading around in your underwear. Ruby's all like, ugh.
I don't understand that line of dialogue. It tore my soul in half. No, you bi-generated, which has nothing to do with the Pantheon. That's to do with Time Lord mythology, isn't it? So... what do you mean it tore your soul in half? That doesn't make no sense. I don't understand that line of dialogue. Make it make sense.
Oh, Doctor, clearly everything's alright, 'cause I'm alive. So the Doctor just shows her London completely destroyed. But then it's interrupted by Maestro in this absolutely fantastic sequence. She reveals her entire plan.
I'm going solo.
God, this is so cheesy. I love it. Jinx Monsoon's performance is absolutely sublime.
Sublime!
Sublime!
Oh, I did use it. Okay, cool.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that.
My God, this is one of the greatest jokes that Doctor Who has ever told. Oh my God, that is actually top tier. But unfortunately, guys,
Us film students
that's where the
know.
highs for this episode come to an end. There is some absolutely lovely visuals, but there's more of this, oh, the mystery of Ruby, oh, what's the mystery? When this series was first released, yeah, cool, it was so intriguing. However, when you're watching this a second time over, and you know what happens at the end, it comes across really stupid. Then there's this...
music battle.
This is really over the top,
hate-
especially when you know they're not even actually...
Do they not just have the effects to like have the violin go in their hand? Because I'm sorry, doing the whole music battle. I hate it. It's stupid. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to do.
You playing? Anyways, guys, the Doctor pulls an absolute whoopsie and gets the chord wrong. And of course, I called it The Beatles Save the Day. And listen, as corny as it is, I'm glad it wasn't the Doctor that saved the day in this episode. Yeah, so there's this musical number for some reason. I don't really have too much to say on this because it's effectively pointless.
And what's annoying is they deleted the scene that explains the musical number, which would have been so bloody useful. Why did they do that?
The importance of music and the influence it has on humanity. Jinx Monsoon is absolutely fantastic in this episode. However, this was advertised as a Beatles episode, and they were barely in it. The resolution was a bit pants. And it seems to me like this pantheon that they've been going on about can seem to be defeated quite easily. But anyone that dislikes this episode because of, ooh, drag queen, yeah, it's absolutely pathetic. Because this episode is very good, so I will be putting it in good.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Oh my goodness me. David Hasselhoff is back. After 7 years and what feels like an eternity, the Moff returns to help Russell T Davies get this show off the ground once again. Moffat is renowned for writing bangers under Russell T Davies' tenure. So hopefully he can return to us with an absolute banger. As you know, I love me an episode that's set in one place. It's really great to just slow things down, spend time with the main characters, and maybe...
I'm going to say something controversial right now, guys, gamers. I think this episode is slightly overrated. I just think it was the first actual good episode of the series, and everyone went a bit nuts.
Or just have a little space to breathe and learn more about Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. We start the episode with Bird Box Man asking to smell this kid's breath.
I need to smell your minty breath. Oh, you little liar.
And I will say the level of detail on this set, by the way, is incredible. And the way that they made this episode is absolutely fascinating as well. I love it when Doctor Who tries new things.
I'll let you see my tattoo.
Belinda!
Tattoo.
It's not on general view.
It took 1 minute for a horny Stephen Moffat innuendo. Wow, that is record time. It's only been 7 years, Steve. So the Doctor steps on a landmine. Big oopsie poopsie. Oh my god, Susan Twist ambulance. Susan Twist ambulance, will it? But at least we've got a very interesting premise.
One wrong move and boom.
He said the episode title. That's funny. I love the tension in this episode. Russell T Davies 2 has definitely been lacking it, and the tension is raised even more when Ruby finds this fleshlight. You can really tell this episode is written by Stephen Moffat just by the way the Doctor babbles on, but it doesn't feel too incessant. He's funny whilst clearly in a state of panic, and he is emotional, but in this moment it is completely warranted, and I really enjoy Ncuti's performance in this episode. The way the pair try and calm each other down in the suspenseful moments is absolutely fantastic. And looking back, I genuinely think this is the only episode in the entire series where we watch these two characters and their blossoming friendship, and it really shocks me that this is the episode that wasn't written by Russell T Davies, because character writing is Russell's bread and butter. Anyway, it quickly goes tits up when terrible
bread and butter, bottle of water and all that. Always picking the timings, eh? Hello? Sorry. Apologies. Let's get back to it.
It really shocks me that this is the episode that wasn't written by Russell T Davies, because character writing is Russell's bread and butter. Anyway, it quickly goes tits up when terrible child actor shows up. Of course, Stephen, like you just couldn't resist using a terrible child actor, could you, man? Then season 2 companion gets involved, and then Susan Ambulance shows up, and everyone's bloody arguing. Oh, and then just to top it off, little simp boy over here just absolutely gay men's Ruby. God, this story is great. But of course, it's interrupted by more, who is Ruby's mum? Who is it? Oh, what a mystery this will be. But guys,
why was the snow never explained?
These soldiers have been fighting nothing, because capitalism bad and war good. Ruby gets brought back to life and the day is saved. The episode ends with the Doctor's excitement, which I absolutely love. Oh my god, it just is so great. Stephen Moffat needed that break because he came back with the best episode of RTD2 so far, aside from Wild Blue Yonder.
Okay,
Stephen
good, I did
chucks
correct
in a lot of
myself.
fan service and references.
Fish fingers and custard is my favorite.
Shooty and Millie's performances in this episode are absolutely fantastic. The tension was sublime, and the way this episode was made is really fascinating. However, the weird rush love interest, the terrible child acting, and the slightly cringe ending stops this episode from being top tier. But I will say, this episode is going in great. 73.
I definitely think I've overdone it there. I think it's just good. I think it's a good standalone Doctor Who episode. Like, it's Doctor Who. That's what you want from a Doctor Who episode in the middle of a series. I think that's it. I don't think it's quite one of the greats. Really. It's a brand new day, and I'm ready to continue. So let's continue.
73 yards. So, the season is finally picking up, and the Doctor and Ruby end up in Wales.
War between the land and the sea.
That's where I live!
Was that foreshadowing? The Doctor stands on this string ring, which would have been blown away by the wind if it was on the edge of this cliff. I'm just saying that. But anyway, he then ends up evaporating. Ruby tries to find him, but then finds Mysterious Woman, and then tries to have a conversation with her as if she was stood right in front of her.
Have you seen my friend? He was here.
What? What are you saying, love?
Can you just wait there?
Love, I'm deaf. Can you not tell by the fucking sign language?
Okay.
Ruby then bumps in.
Bit of an awkward joke, that one. I'm not a fan of that one. Not a fan. Now, that needed to be re-edited or rejingled or something. Why did they have her shouting at, like, room temperature? Hello? Do you know where my friend's gone? Do you know where my friend's gone? I don't know where he is.
Ruby then bumps into Susan Twist! But Mysterious Lady interrupts by telling her that Ruby's breath stinks. There is this absolutely fabulous scene in this little Welsh pub where we meet some really interesting characters, and they all decide to prank Ruby by building this sinister story about Mad Jack.
Hurry up, I got my hands full. You've got enough passes here to last 2 weeks.
That is pretty funny. He has Cornish pasties to the last 2 weeks. Does anyone remember? Yep, sweet. That's my phone. Do you remember when Bolstrek absolutely lost his marbles over this? This scene, by the way. What the frickety flim-flam is a Cornish pasty? Dude, you're Canadian. I don't expect you to know what a Cornish pasty is, but bloody hell. Acting like it's some completely out of this world thing.
But throughout this sequence, there is some really wonderful natural dialogue and some great banter. The episode starts off gripping, but the grip gets grippier when more and more people start to turn on Ruby. Not like that, guys. Come on, don't be an animal. Cherry Sunday's back, yay!
I told her that man was no good with his box of magic tricks.
And so is Mystery Lady, Mrs. Flood.
Nothing to do with me.
Guys. Yeah, listen, we really slept on this line of dialogue, didn't we? Looking back, that is really quite obvious. Why would anyone say that? She clearly has something to do with it.
Yeah, no, she didn't really. She didn't really, did she? Did she have anything to do with 73 yards? I don't think so. No. Don't get me wrong, she played with reality a bit, but that was in Wishworld. So yeah, no, not really. It's a bit of an old stinker, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, that line of dialogue of her saying, "Oh, nothing to do with me," is blatantly like telling us that she has something to do with something. But yeah, it ended up being a massive, total, colossal flop. So that's good.
Then it was Welsh Pub Man. Now it's Ruby's mum. Then we get Kate Lethbridge-Stewart. Oh my god, she's back. But she turns against Ruby too. Guys, we are literally halfway through this episode and it has been absolute perfection. However... in typical Russell T Davies 2 fashion, the pace just accelerates and the episode very quickly just falls apart. We see a montage of Ruby aging and gaining a bond with this mystery lady. The way they make Ruby age is just so pathetically funny. Did they do what they did with Amy in The Girl Who Waits? You know, when the show had a significantly lower budget? No, they just put some glasses on her. Wow, look at this woman. She is definitely over 40. Wow.
It's shocking, isn't it? You don't expect to do much. A bit of eye baggage. Like, I'm 26 and I've got frown lines. Like, add some frown lines. Something. Do something. They really did just chuck some glasses on and go, that is a 40-year-old woman if I've ever seen one. She looks great for 40, by the way.
Then we are introduced to a terribly underbaked Welsh Trump man, Robert, or Roger, or something. We know he's bad because he hates immigrants and wants to nuke people. Ugh, that's original. And by the way, that is literally all we find out about him. That is it. He's just racist. And literally, as we meet him, we get to the resolution of the episode. Yep. Ruby saves the day by walking onto the Cardiff City football pitch and scaring evil bad man. That's it. He's defeated. Yeah. Then to finish the episode off, we actually see old Ruby on her deathbed and Michael Caine gets eaten by creepy mystery.
Michael Caine. I forgot I said that. It looks like Michael Caine. See, in a pool of terrible jokes, right? There's one that always cracks me up. Say what you want. She does look like Michael Caine.
Michael Caine gets eaten by creepy mystery woman.
You dirty little fucking.
Wow. So was the mystery woman Ruby all along? I guess she was, but no. But guys, it's never explained. In fact, the more you deep this episode, the more none of it makes any sense at all. And listen, I get Russell T Davies saying, "Alright, boyo, I'm never going to tell you what she said. I'm never going to tell you that." That's me doing my Welsh again, apologies.
Guys, did I tell you that I met this guy? Did I tell you that I met this guy? I met him. I did actually meet him one time. It's actually pretty crazy. I get pretty angry with him in these videos.
But Russell T Davies seems to think that in this series, we should just accept whatever he writes and not question anything at all. Can you at least explain how and why the Doctor disappeared? And what the actual point of this mysterious woman was? And why any of this happened in the first place? Listen, the first half of this episode...
I don't think it was needed to be explained, I don't think it needed a scientific explanation of what happened to the Doctor or what the whole curse thing was about. Only what the old woman was and what she was saying. I know it needs to have ambiguity and that's the mystery of the episode. It makes this episode feel somewhat like a bit of a dud watch because, like, you don't feel satisfaction that you've figured anything out or that you've understood anything. You're just sitting there going, ooh, is there like a deeper meaning behind this or something? Like, that's pretty crazy. Like, you don't know. And then it's all like, oh, maybe it's like down to each person's interpretation of the story. What I get from the episode is like a vague story about anxiety, about Ruby's anxiety. That's probably the bare minimum I get from it, which I probably should have explained in this video.
Is absolute perfection.
And fear of abandonment.
It's gripping, it's creepy, it's fascinating. The direction in this episode is fantastic and the cinematography is super, super sexy. But the lack of explanation to this story leaves you frustratingly confused. And it by far has one of the most underbaked villains we've ever seen in Doctor Who history.
It does, but at the same time, I don't think the villain was the main focal point of the episode.
However, I still really enjoyed this episode nonetheless. But I've got to stand my ground. It's going in good. Yeah? Because I get annoyed thinking about the episode.
I don't like this tier list, by the way. It's proper grim. I can't wait to redo this, by the way. Just because I want to have the tier list all nicely laid out.
Yeah? Because I get annoyed thinking about the episode. So it's got to go in good. That's it. Dot and Bubble. One thing I will give this new season, it has some really creative concepts which are so refreshing. We follow Lindy, a typical Fiat 500 driver, in the world of Fine Time, where they live in their own bubbles. And man, I love subtle social commentary, man. Watching this, I was so confused as to how we could support this main character in this episode. She's so unlikable. Obviously, it's not until the ending that you realise that was the intention all along. So, there's these slug things infiltrating Fine Time and killing off all of these little rich white kids. Oh my god, literally one of them is sucking off this man. So Poppy tries to escape and does a cracking job at doing so. The Doctor and Ruby are trying to assist her, where Poppy then explains the world and how it works and reveals it's just for rich kids that get to live here for free. Susan Twist! Susan bloody Twist! Anyway, Poppy then meets Ricky September. Wow, he is super epic hot right now. He then finds out that the entire homeworld population has been absolutely game-ended. Just rip. Then it's explained to us that these slugs are killing everyone in alphabetical order, where we have one of the most brutal backstabbings and death scenes ever in Doctor Who. Fucking Jesus! But wait, if the dots...
That really was like a simulation of someone being absolutely just boomed in the head. I get how they got away with it, because it technically wasn't that. That's pretty graphic.
Fucking Jesus! But wait, if the dots were the ones that were getting pissed off and wanted a game end everyone, why didn't they just do this from the beginning? This would have saved a lot of time. But then it becomes clear that Lindy is just an awful, awful person, and that is when we get to the climax, where we find out why. The Doctor offers to save them and take them off of the planet, and this is where all of the random aggression starts to make sense.
We couldn't travel with you because you, sir, are not one of us. So you were kind, although it was your duty to save me.
No, thank you. And goodbye.
They are all
Disgusting.
racists. Watching this episode the second time round really makes you realise the amount of microaggressions that I, a white male, didn't even clock.
No Lindy to walk.
Is that thing, is it something to do with you?
Walk without the arrows.
Oh, that's what I just said. Now shut up. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Didn't I block you? I knew it. I did. I thought that you just looked the same, but I muted you.
Unmuted, honey.
I was so right to hate you. He is going to be so disciplined. I can't wait. Okay, I think he's not as stupid as he looks.
We couldn't travel with you. So you were kind.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It was your duty to save me.
Yeah, this episode is insanely thought-provoking. And if anyone says, oh, this episode is so woke, it's awful, God, what, you calling white people racist? This is literally the least on-the-nose political commentary you could get. At no point do any of these characters actively say, hey, we hate anyone who's not white. It is portrayed solely in their behaviour, and I think that is absolutely brilliant. Their own arrogance, ignorance, and bigotry leads them to their death. And this is the one time a group of people refuse to be saved by the Doctor, and it absolutely breaks him. And
does anyone else remember when this was leaked on Twitter, this shoot? It was like, oh my God, it's Shooty Gatwa filming down in Wales somewhere. And it was on like the docks, and it was here. They were filming this bit. This was the first scene he ever filmed as the Doctor.
He doesn't even care that they were racists. He's more bothered by the fact that he couldn't save their lives. God damn.
Well, of his era.
What a man. It's really great when an episode of Doctor Who gets you thinking, especially when it's done in a way where it feels like it's not preaching at you or telling you off. This is how social commentary should be done in Doctor Who. I love this episode, and watching it a second time, I loved it even more. And knowing that this is the first scene that Shooty shot as well.
Spittle.
Fair play, my son. Fair play. This episode, guys, is going in great.
Oh, damn.
Oh boy, here we go. Right, here we go. Rogue. I got so much shtick for my reaction to this episode.
This comment here. Is it just me, or does Rogue sound exactly like Captain Jack? Like, it's lacking the same energy, but I swear they have insanely similar voices. Yeah, it's called an American accent. Basically, in that little clip, there wasn't a single hate comment. I should have done a better job of showing examples. But I did get a lot of hate. As you can tell by the dislikes, yeah, 179 dislikes. People were pissed at me. They were very angry, right? They just immediately were like, oh, it's okay at the fire of Pompeii. No, go in the fireplace. Doi!
It's nowhere near the highest viewed. Make it make sense. People straight away listed me as...
Oh, here we go. If you go into an episode thinking it's going to be shit, the chances are your opinion isn't going to change. It was a good episode. So I said at the start of the video, like, oh, I feel like this is probably going to be a dud episode. Not just because I was like, we're due one. Like, genuinely, from the Next Time trailer, to me, Rogue looked like it was going to be the stinker one. So I had this preemptive thought that it was going to be stinky, but the difference was, it was actually stinky. People who like the episode, fair play to you. I personally think the episode sucks. The episode does suck, I'm afraid. It was so predictable from the start. I think the birds, yes, while typical Doctor Who, I think they looked silly. They didn't look like cheesy, they looked silly. Again, this romance thing with the Doctor and Rogue, like the way the Doctor just immediately invites them into TARDIS, that's not what the Doctor does. The Doctor gets to know them first. Just because someone's lost someone, that doesn't make the Doctor go, you're my companion now, come with me, travel the stars with me. It just doesn't make sense.
Anti-woke, which of course anyone who's actually seen my DTDW Reacts YouTube channel, you should definitely subscribe right now, you guys would know that that is very much not the case. And I will stand by the fact that this episode is not good. And let me tell you for why. The episode starts with two rambunctious saltburn bad boys having a jolly old scrap until one of them gets electrocuted. Yes, this episode is about shape-shifting birds that roleplay as humans because they love the drama or something. Sure, sounds like an interesting premise.
Oh my Bridgerton.
Yeah, I still find it really strange that a BBC and a Disney show consistently reference one of Netflix's most successful shows multiple times, and it definitely doesn't get old, guys.
I know it's supposed to be like an almost like spoof or parody of Bridgerton and the style of Bridgerton and all that, and the drama and all of that. But again, it is weird for me that a BBC and Disney production were doing that for a Netflix show. Do you know what I mean?
The Doctor references these magical earrings that Ruby's wearing.
How do I know these moves?
Psychic earrings. Just don't set them to battle mode.
And of course, I instantly clocked onto them in my reaction.
I'm not sure on that.
Susan Twist! Susan Twist! Susan Twist! Twist! Anyways, Doctor finds mysterious, attractive American man, which brings me to my first issue with the episode. If this character is not Captain Jack, which it isn't, then this really is just a blatant rip-off of his character. Or attractive, flirty space freelancer who has an American accent, with an invisible ship and a big quote-unquote gun. Yeah, we're definitely not just redoing Captain Jack at all, no.
Doesn't get much more clear than that, by the way. Does not get much more clear than that.
Don't forget that. It really just screams like the show is trying to rehash something that was successful before. And sure, I take no issue with this rogue character. He's got some flirty banter. But his thing seems to just be he lost someone once. Okay? Now, I do want to point out, I enjoy the banter between the Doctor and Rogue. And the flirty energy is all good. But essentially, they spend the episode spouting exposition and explaining things to each other. And all in all, I just don't find Rogue an interesting character whatsoever.
This is a prime example, by the way, of this series being impacted by being too short, right? Because just like in The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, Captain Jack is sort of, we get to know him across the 2 episodes, right? We get to know a decent amount of his character. If this episode was maybe a 2-part, or if Rogue was involved in a 2-parter story, I think my opinions would be very different. The fact of the matter is, these episodes are so short, right? I'm sorry, they are 40 minutes, 41 minutes. The Doctor falls in love with this man, and then the man gets trapped, and I'm supposed to feel sad that the man's been trapped? I don't care. I don't know you. Like, you know what I mean? This series suffered so much from being too short. It's clear that Russell wanted us to be invested in this Rogue character, but we nowhere near had enough time to even think about it. And I do think with some Doctor Who fans, they just latch onto every character immediately. They're just like, I love him, I think it's great. It's the same with The Fugitive Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor did absolutely nothing, by the way, in the series. Did nothing. Probably had about 20 minutes total screen time. And people are like, she's my favourite Doctor ever. Huh? Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît, mademoiselle?
The Doctor to then save himself, he then reveals that he is actually a Time Lord. Although I'm not really sure how this defends his case, because Rogue is after shape-shifting aliens that take on many faces, just for the Doctor to explain that he is exactly that. And then Rogue seems to just fall in love with him?
Wow.
Okay. The Doctor then shows Rogue his TARDIS, where the Doctor says,
Who did you lose? What? You lost someone.
Yeah, listen, Sherlock, this is something everyone has been through. Why is he saying this like it's a really big, relatable thing that brought them together? The Doctor then just offers Rogue to go travelling with him?
Let's argue across the stars.
When literally 10 seconds ago, Rogue was trying to incinerate him. Now, this is where people got angry at me by throwing the girl in the fireplace argument at me. And this is where...
Oh, okay, I did give an example. Giving this video a fat... I remember this comment. Giving this video a fat dislike. The episode was good. No one complained about how fast-paced the relationship was with the girl in the fireplace episode. It's giving hypocrisy. It's not the same. Because also, you can tell that they've spent time together off camera as well. Because in Rogue, what we see on screen is the amount of time they've spent together, right? Whereas in The Girl in the Fireplace, you know, they spent like nights partying together and things like that. Yes, it was still fast-paced, but there was definitely more of a relationship being built, you know, whilst the subplots were happening. This, what you see in Rogue, is the time they spent together. They literally spend about 25 minutes together. It's just crazy.
I realised, you know what? This fan base sometimes can be so two-dimensional. No one had a problem when the Doctor and Madame de Pompadour fell in love really quickly, though. Nobody seemed to have a problem with the Doctor and River song, though, did they? Listen, My argument is not that the Doctor shouldn't fall in love. The only romance I ever rooted for was when I was 7, and it was the Doctor and Rose. Anybody who has seen my other reviews will know I was completely against the Doctor and River Song story. For some reason, people just automatically assumed I was completely accepting of every other relationship the Doctor has had, and I feel like it's a really cheap and easy way to list someone as homophobic, which is as equally as sad as the people who hated this episode simply because it was a same-sex love interest.
Facts.
Now let's go back to the game.
Sorry, I'm speaking absolute facts and I stand by this, by the way. Some Doctor Who fans do have a tendency to be like, oh, you didn't like that. Oh, but you were fine with this and that. And it's like, hang on a minute. You haven't heard my opinions on this or that. Just because I like The Girl in the Fireplace doesn't mean I also like The Wedding of River Song. Doesn't also mean I like Rogue. Just because I didn't like Rogue doesn't mean that I liked Girl in the Fireplace. I'm saying the same thing. I've just realised I'm saying the same point.
Now let's go back to the Girl in the Fireplace, right? The scenarios are completely different. Yes, they fell for each other very quickly. However, the Doctor already knew who Madame de Pompadour was. He already had admiration for her achievements and her character and her talents before he had even met her. She then comes sauntering in, showing extreme intelligence and understanding of the Doctor's character. She even enters his brain with some mad telepathy shit. A human with the ability to do that, of course the Doctor is going to fall in love. Not even Rose understood him on that level. So yes, it was a short period of time, but the romance formed between the Doctor and Madame de Pompadour is completely understandable. And guess what? I even find their romance more believable than the Doctor and River Songs.
Case closed. Case closed. Need I say more? Was there anything I said there that wasn't facts? No, exactly. So, hush. Case dismissed.
I even find their romance more believable than the Doctor and River Songs. But in this instance, the Doctor and Rogue just go from, hey man, I'm going to incinerate you, bird boy, to, hey lad, I think you lost someone once. Did you lose someone? Travel with me now. I love you so much. I love you so much. So the Doctor and Rogue have this little dance to stir up some drama, which works, and all the bird people reveal themselves. Yeah, they look terrible.
We're gonna cosplay this planet to death.
Yikes. Oh dear. Oh my god, guys, Ruby gets game ended. Second time now this season. Second time. But it wasn't fooling me.
Oh. I just realised Ruby's not dead, is she? Because she's got the earrings. Battle mode, innit? I look so fed up. I also look noticeably skinnier as well. Damn. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not enjoying this episode. Those earrings had to come into importance, didn't they? Should be fine. No, they didn't. I'm not buying it.
I will keep her safe.
The one thing the Doctor should never do is make a promise about keeping a companion safe. I'm so fed up with this episode. Look at me, holy. And also, it was just so much crammed in, like, attempted, like, emotional scenes with the Doctor, with Carla being like, I'm gonna keep her safe, I swear to God. Like, that doesn't make me want to cry, because I know she's not dead. It's episode 4, for fuck's sake.
How long did we live for?
The Doctor's crying again. It really is like every episode at this point. Like, I can understand most of the situations. It's understandable why he's crying. Like, and in every episode so far, it's understandable. But this is a prime example, by the way. My reaction here is a prime example of why you don't have the Doctor cry in every episode. Because in the context of the episode, Ruby's just died, so the Doctor is well within his rights to cry. But I'm not feeling emotional. Not just because the story was predictable as heck, but because I was like, fucking hell, he's crying again. Like, it means nothing to me now. I've seen him cry like 1,800 times. Like, when David Tennant cried, or got angry, or when Peter Capaldi cried, or even when Christopher Eccleston cried, like, you thought, shit, it's getting real now. It's getting real. Something bad has happened, right? The Doctor is like, either lost hope, or he's devastated. Shooty, it's like, I buttered both sides of my toast this morning. I don't know why he's from Plymouth. My patience isn't doing too good this time round, guys. Doctor, Ruby's not one of them. Ruby ain't one of them.
No, I'm not. It's me, Doctor.
Nice try. How?
The earrings. This actually angers me as well. Why did they make the Doctor so fucking stupid? He was the one who told her about battle mode in the first place. Why do people say this episode is good? I really don't understand. It's flawed from top to bottom.
Man, if the Doctor couldn't even figure that out, then what is the point? Like, I saw that coming a mile off. Oh yeah, and the Doctor's plan is to trap all the birds to send them to starve to death on a barren wasteland. Yes, that is a whole issue within itself. But Rogue does interject and sacrifices himself to save Ruby. Not before having a cheeky little smooch with our Doctor here.
Oh, the sound effects.
Yeah, if I
can't
had
deal
one
with the
word
sound
for
effects.
this episode, it would be melodramatic. This episode is lazily written with a whole lot of conveniences, a boring B-Tech Captain Jack with a forced romance, the Doctor not even thinking straight because his mind is full of, ooh, roguey Willy. And it has a goofy resolution. Some people were genuinely saying it was one of the best ever episodes of Doctor Who.
This was a huge problem with this era of Doctor Who, by the way, is going on to Twitter afterwards to see what people thought, and everyone either saying it was the best piece of television they've ever witnessed in their life, or it was the worst piece of television they've ever witnessed. There was no like, this episode was alright, you know? Oh, the episode was okay. It was, this is the best thing my eyeballs have ever had the pleasure of witnessing in my entire existence. I will never witness anything so beautiful again. Or it'd be, ugh, this show's so woke and disgusting and crap. Honestly, just two opposite ends of the spectrum. I just wasn't a fan of this episode.
Listen, this episode is definitely not god-awful. I like some of the banter, the setting, and the premise would appear to be interesting, but it was executed absolutely terribly. The bird things look awful. Ruby is really annoying in this episode. You kind of forget she's 19 years old. The special effects are lacking, and the Doctor was also incredibly grating in this. This episode is going in not for me. The Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. A two-parter Russell T Davies season finale. If we have anything to go by, then we know that this episode
Heckin'
is going
epic.
to be an absolute banger.
I showed this episode yesterday to my sister and her boyfriend because he's never seen a Doctor Who episode before. I don't know why I chose this episode in particular because, holy moly, he had no idea what was going on and why all the characters were so important. But it was literally just 40 minutes of me going like, I was getting so excited and emotional over an episode that I've seen 400,000 times. He had no idea what was happening. He was just like, I mean, the music is sure loud. I should have just done what everyone else does and just showed him Blink.
I went to the cinema to watch this as well, and goddamn, it was one hell of an experience. The TARDIS comes crashing into the unit tower, where we see Rose again. Yep, she really has no use in this story whatsoever. I genuinely don't know why she's here. Kate is also back. Happy days. But guys, we jump straight into it with the question of who is this Susan Twist? Turns out she's just a Lady Elon Musk with triad technology. Even though it's never really explained what this triad technology does or what it's for, that doesn't matter. I love the whole
TARDIS. The name is TARDIS technology.
Well, obviously. Thank you.
Almost like a jab at the fans who thought they were super duper smart for figuring this out. Then there's this suggestion.
Oh, I remember all of the YouTube videos coming out. Oh my god. S-Triad is so obviously TARDIS. It's about the TARDIS. So for this episode to obviously play on that, it's quite good.
That Susan Twist might actually be the Doctor's granddaughter. Oh, my intrigue is through the roof.
If you're chasing after that Dr. Manawan and your aim is trouble.
I love Cherry Sunday, man. I love Cherry Sunday. Yeah, then there's more of this Mrs. Flood mystery stuff, and it is insanely cheesy.
There's a storm coming in. He waits no more.
Anyways, guys, they then reveal that there's this way they can analyze the tapes using convenient CCTV footage of the church.
This is rough.
Hell of an outfit for Shooty, by the way.
Yeah, I love this. Whilst it is a little bit unbelievable, I will say this episode does a phenomenal job at building tension.
That would make you fucking like crazy.
Did anyone see her face?
No, nothing.
Nothing, sorry.
What is she doing? Can we see? Why did she stop? Did she see me fighting?
Colonel Chidozi, you will return to your position.
Just see if
To have a whole episode like build up the mystery of Ruby's mum like this, like it's so upsetting. Like watching this one in the cinema, it was like, oh my god, the reveal we are going to get is going to be out of this world, right? Genuinely, the tension that was building through this episode. I think this episode's great, but solely because of the tension that is building that will lead to the reveal of Ruby's mum and Sutek. The finale is where it all just goes completely tits up.
There's anything there.
You said not to move.
I know.
What
is that?
It is really annoying that this entire sequence is building up how mysterious and shady Ruby's mystery mum is. But if we're taking it as if it's our first time watching, God, it is fucking gripping. Big smoke cloud appears and I am hooked. So the Doctor then goes to try and find Susan and then he starts crying. Yet again.
Finished? Now stop grizzling and fix it.
Thank you, Mel. Someone had to bloody tell him. God, this guy's a wet blanket, man.
Only logical character in this era, by the way. Actually, he's the only one to just tell him to get the fuck up. The Doctor has been lacking confrontation with his companions for the longest time. Like, obviously, I think Bill was the last one to really call him out. You know what I mean? There could have been some after that, but like the Chibnall era, all of the companions were just like, "Oh, Doctor, you're always right. You have never ever said anything out of line or out of pocket, even though most of your decisions are questionable. You are obviously in the right because you are the Doctor." And I feel like the same with this. Like, if there was any sort of tension between him and the companion, it was very surface level. There was no like genuine like conflict. You know, the whole point of the companion is to also not just travel with the Doctor, but to also keep him in line, but also to give him a reality check every now and then, and, you know, keep him on the right path, really. We get to the reveal. The sound of the evil TARDIS is just incredible. It gives me chills. It is a perfect sound, isn't it? Horrid.
Harriet Arbinger reveals herself and Susan goes into full-blown meltdown, which leads to the reveal.
Oh my god! So this is the Sherman Theatre. This was filmed in the Sherman Theatre where I met Russell T Davies. I met Russell T Davies in this building. And I also sat right on the top of Shooty's head behind him. But yeah, that was a fun little piece of trivia that we learned that night.
Oh my god, it is done masterfully. I love everything about it. It is so Russell T Davies to the bone. Murray Gold's sensational soundtrack. The jump scares, the reactions, the tension, the teasing. Yes, 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 yes! Oh my god, I love it all. Put it in my mouth. The first time watching was absolutely amazing, and in my opinion, this episode tickled all the right spots for me. Don't get me wrong, the sequence with the tape does take up the majority of the episode's runtime, and it does drag a little bit. The stuff with Mrs. Flood is a little bit cringe, but everything else with this episode is so great. Oh my god, it is. I mean, what more could you want from a Doctor Who finale first part, man? I tell you. This episode, guys, is going in great.
See, I don't know if I'd put that in great now, you know. I don't think it is great. I think it invokes an excitement out of me that I love, that I want from Doctor Who. It's more out of anticipation than it is appreciation of the episode's narrative itself. So I personally don't think I'd put it in great this time, next time around. But it did excite me quite a lot.
Empire of Death. The episode starts with Susan Twist. Well, she's just Thanosing everyone. Night night. Honestly, what is Rose actually doing? She really has no reason to be here.
Look how fucking bored she is! I know I've discussed this recently on my Reacts channel from my No Context video, but look how she's got no expression on her face. She don't give a fuck. The Bringer of Death is there, by the way. May I just add the Bringer of Death?
This trans representation that Russell T Davies is trying to achieve is probably more insulting than it is powerful and progressive. She quite literally is just a token progressive character. Wow, she's trans, and that's all that's been discussed about her character. Okay, your little moment's over. Go back to the background. Yeah, you're no longer important to us, so you're just there. This is not how you do representation. But damn, Kate's death scene...
Look at me being the mouthpiece for progressive television. This is not how you do it.
This gift of death really seems quite devastating.
I'm sorry, you tiny little woman. I had such plans.
Well, at least we know that Miss Flood has nothing to do with this pantheon. So, this remembered TARDIS. How the fuck does this work? Apart from it being some nostalgia bait, seriously, how is this working? I don't...
Unironically, the coolest part of this episode. I'm very upset, but I want to go into this room so freaking badly. I want them to reopen the Doctor Who experience so badly so they can put this in there, and I want to go in there. This is so cool.
I will say though, Sutek's voice is pretty super sexy cool, and it's cool they got the original Sutek to do the voice as well. But it's revealed that Sutek has been surfing the TARDIS since the 70s. I could go into how ridiculous this notion is of Sutek being attached to the TARDIS for thousands of years, but I feel like it's been absolutely memed to death, alright? It's really stupid.
Oh, I completely forgot about that, you know? I completely forgot that he'd been on the TARDIS for that long. It is woeful, isn't it? God bless you, Russell, and I absolutely love you, but holy moly, this was not thought out in the slightest, I swear.
Anyway, after the Doctor and Sutek's little pissing match, the Doctor gets a little victim complex and starts screaming into space. Wah, it's all my fault, I'm crying again. And yes, I am downplaying it. So far, this episode has been pretty good, alright? Nothing's ruined it just yet.
The secret the child carries with her.
So you're telling me that the reason Sutek has appeared now is because he's so invested in this mystery of Ruby Sunday and who her mother is. Can someone show Sutek the Jeremy Kyle show, please? I feel like he'd have a great time. Now,
oh mate, it gets me so angry. Like, why did you build up her mum this much to the point where the bringer of death is even like, the mystery of the child, I must know the mystery of the child. It's just some woman from Scunthorpe, for fuck's sake. There's no importance at all.
This is probably my favourite scene of this episode. The Doctor wants to get a spoon, so he finds this woman. It does seem really out of place because of this episode's pacing, and it's not really explained why the Doctor is here specifically, and it's a well-performed and lovely scene, and that's all I can really say.
He saw the one thing beyond his comprehension. Your mother.
Damn, that's actually an epic roast, right? Epic roast. But even still, for Sutek to be scared of Ruby's mum, God, she must be super duper important, right? The episode is leading this towards someone who is mega important. Looking back, there is so much convenient shite in this episode. Oh, magic whistle, Mavity gloves, magic rope. Apart from the gloves, where has any of this stuff been used in Doctor Who before, and why is it in this remembered TARDIS? Or is it just...
Actually, he can speak rope, remember, from the church on Ruby Road. Jesus, Danny, just catch up.
For convenience to wrap up the plot. So the Doctor then realises that the underbaked Welsh Donald Trump man from earlier made DNA samples compulsory in 2046. So they use this to go find Ruby's mum.
Searching 76 million people.
Oh my God, you're telling me that computers in 2046 take this long to load? Jesus. Now, why is Mel freezing to death now? Wait, now she's using the Force on the Doctor.
Oh my
How did
God.
she even get back in the room?
God, looking back, it makes no sense, does it? None of it makes sense. Holy.
How did nobody hear her? Make it make sense. So they end up being somehow teleported to Sutek, where we think everything is about to be revealed. But Ruby smashes the TV screen and somehow reaches Sutek's collar to attach this magical rope. How does she do that? Look at the distance.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. There's no way her arms got up there. And why the fuck did Sutek not just bite her arm off?
But the magical rope is used to put Sutek back into the vortex. Sorry guys, isn't this exactly what the Doctor did before? Couldn't Sutek just reattach himself to the TARDIS and do this all again? But no, somehow this time he scratches the vortex and reverses all of the damage. Wow, Russell T Davies just reversing everything? Wow, this is so new and original. He's never done this before. Well, that's a slightly disappointing resolution, but at least we still have the epic super duper reveal of Ruby's mum, right? When I tell you the collective groan that was let out at the cinema was louder than any other reaction.
It's true.
Everyone was pissed off by this.
Again, it is very, very true. Everyone was pissed off. And why not? Why wouldn't you be? I know there's some people like trying to cope and being like, guys, understand the episode's message. It's all about how we've put too much emphasis on something. When you've had something dangled in front of your face going, oh, look how important this is. This is super important. This is building something to, oh, you guys are not going to believe what this is. You are not going to believe it. Actually, guys, it was nothing all along. You got your hopes up too much, actually. That was your fault. Silly. Like, effectively, we had been gaslit. Like, and I think that's why this finale was so insulting. Like, we as an audience
had been gaslit into believing this was something much bigger, and then being told it's our fault that we put too much emphasis on something, when the episode itself put too much emphasis on it. God, this finale sucks, man. Oh my god. Ugh. I remember now why I didn't want to talk about Doctor Who for so long after these two series. The thing that Russell T Davies is perfect at is his character writing, and it just did not exist in this series at all. I don't know what happened. Executives got involved, because I don't think for a second that Russell T Davies has lost the ability to do character writing. Every single project he's ever worked on, his character writing is the best part of it. So you're telling me that Doctor Who season 1 and 2 just came around and he just instantly forgot how to do it? I don't think so. There must be something else at play. But that is the one thing, the one most crucial thing that was missing from his second era. It's actually painful, because in RTD1, there's a lot of average stories there, but what makes them so enjoyable are the characters, right? It's the Doctor himself, the Doctor and his companions, his well thought out, fleshed out companions and their dynamic. It doesn't exist in this series. It's so sad.
She was important because we think she's important.
Wow, that is so insulting. We made her important, so it's our fault that this reveal is so disappointing. I get what they're trying to say, that we do like to attach importance to absolutely everything, when most likely it don't really mean very much. But Russell, your writing made this seem like this woman was super duper important.
She was pointing out the name of the road. She was naming you.
You have got to be kidding.
It's so
the dramatic
goofy.
pointing was her naming Ruby. For fuck's sake, man. That is the stupidest thing.
At whatever point in the future when I have kids or whatever, and my partner goes to me, oh my god, what should we name the baby? Foliage.
Despite the absolutely insulting reveal, the scene where they meet is actually very lovely and was performed very well. Even brought a little tears to my eye. Because they were releasing it in the cinema, I thought there's something huge has got to happen. So I thought this scene here is where the Doctor thinks, oh man, you know what? Family really is important. And I thought he was going to probably go back and find Susan and reunite with her.
Honestly, that would have been such a revitalised ending for this series, right? Have the Doctor look all emotional here and be like, I have family. Maybe do a montage of him trying to find her or something, but then he finds Susan and then they reunite. That would have righted all of the wrongs of this episode completely. Because that would have given a fan something that they've been asking for years. We didn't get that. That'd be stupid. We have Susan come back for some premonitions or something.
No, that doesn't happen. I got my hopes up. So Ruby gets her mummy back and says her goodbyes to the Doctor. And yet again, this scene does not hit the same way as any other companion exit, apart from the Chibnall ones, because I still don't invest in Ruby as a character whatsoever. She has had absolutely no development at all, and I still don't get her character apart from who's me mum? Who's me mum? But we know that now. So what else is Ruby then? And the episode ends with more teasing where Mrs. Flood stands on the roof.
I'm sorry to say his story ends in absolute terror.
But it doesn't though. But it didn't end in absolute terror. Where did that come from? This is what happens when you don't have the series planned out ahead. Stupid. God, his teasing was perfect in his first era. It just was a bit pants in the second one, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I think you've lost the trust of the majority of the fan base with this absolute shambles. No one is going to be buying into this Mrs. Flood shite anymore, because she's probably just some ordinary woman who lives next door who's just fucking mental. I genuinely cannot defend Russell here as much as I have over these reviews. This is just a result of really poor writing. This story is just filled with an insane amount.
Again, I'm feeling that guilt again because, oh guys, did I mention that I met him? I mentioned that I met him. I feel a bit of guilt because it is is it bad? Is it him being lousy with writing, or is there more at play? You genuinely, because this whole Disney deal has been an absolute disaster from start to finish. You genuinely don't know how much input they had and said, cut this out, cut that out. We know that there were scenes that have been deleted that were actually pretty important to the plot. So it's difficult.
The visuals are fantastic in this episode. Everyone's clowning on Sutek in the
vortex. You can't deny this episode does look amazing. There is some really touching moments and some nostalgia bait to get all of us Doctor Who fans all tingly in the groin. And Murray Gold is impeccable over this season finale. He pretty much carried it. But I do think this episode is a prime example of don't expect anything good and you won't be disappointed. I think I speak on behalf of this fan base. We were very much misled. This episode, guys, is going in not for me. So, the season is done, and it's definitely not a bad series. But I did realise when Rogue came out that this format is not working anymore. You cannot have 8 episodes that are 45 minutes. It worked with 13 episodes because we had time to get to know the characters and become invested. Russell T Davies is my favourite showrunner for 2 reasons: character writing and world building. This season had neither. And I really struggled to make this video because, yes, whilst there are some good episodes, I can't help but feel like something is missing or something is off. It's like when your uncle walks in with fresh veneers. Yes, it looks good and it's definitely still your uncle, but something just looks a bit off. Strangest analogy I could have given, but you know what I mean. I have defended this show from people slating it purely for wokeness. And apart from the whole Rose stuff, there was actually nothing quote-unquote woke about this series. Having the Doctor kiss a man or there be a gay actor does not make this show unwatchable and woke and blah blah blah. And people just seem to forget to critique the actual writing itself because everyone is so insistent on arguing about sex, gender, politics, that I am genuinely exhausted by this fan base. I genuinely think in some ways the Doctor Who fan base itself is killing this show just as much as the media is trying to as well. Especially with all this ongoing nonsense of season 3 hasn't been announced yet, or shooting at... I tell you what, I've completely stopped using Twitter for Doctor Who related reasons now. I just don't touch it because I was very heavily on the Twitter scene at this point, and Doctor Who Twitter is a cancer. It's horrid. It's vile. Obviously, you've got all the engagement farming and clickbait and whatever, but then you've got I've made videos about it. You've got different sectors of the fan base, and some are so toxic, some are completely vile, others are just really questionable, and you just think, what the fuck is happening with this fan base? Since I've come away from it, I'm less angry about it now. I mainly use Twitter now when the football's on. Even if you see me tweeting these days, it's usually about the football. I look at Doctor Who more on Instagram now because the community is much nicer on Instagram. I do appreciate, however, that not everyone thinks about this show like that. A lot of you are here subscribed to this very channel. I appreciate that very much. My channel members who have also supported me, I appreciate you very much also. The format of this show does need to change, and we need more series like Flux. Obviously just written a lot better, with one overall story just to keep this show fresh. A lot of this show's budget just seems to be spent incorrectly, leading us with a handful of good stories, but a wide range of pretty pants ones. And listen, that was fine for the first 5 years or so, but New Who has been going on for nearly 20 years. It cannot keep going this way anymore. I love this show. I always have, and I always will. I know that season 2 is not going to be much different because they made the mistake of producing it before season 1 had even aired. But we need more character development. We need more questions answered, and we need to slow things down. But alas, we won't find out until it comes. Wow. That was the season 1 review. There are a few episodes I would change, maybe bring down a rating or maybe put up. I don't know, maybe. I definitely still agree with the sentiment of a lot of what I said. Sorry, let me take this off. I've still got my black eye, by the way. It's been over a week. It's just so interesting seeing the hope and the optimism just slowly starting to decrease as I go on. And it ain't going to get much better with season 2. So I'm going to take a break. But for you, you're going to be there right now. So let's do that right now then, shall we? Oh, hello. It's a brand new day now, and we're going to be watching the Season 2 or Series 15 review. This is the one where I get noticeably more angry. I think it's safe to say that our expectations were going to be the same for the first season of the Russell T Davies 2 era, mainly because they filmed it back to back. They didn't give any time in between to, get any feedback or nothing. No, they had to do it back to back. And what makes me laugh is that they obviously rushed the filming for the second season, and Ncuti Gatwa was still unavailable for it. Obviously, I know there's like a million different reasons as to why it was done like this, but surely you would work around when the main actor is available. ISTG, man. SMHKMT Rothel. Anyway, let's get into the second season review. This should be fun. Well, doesn't time fly? we are back to review the latest season of Doctor Who. But first, I have to thank these absolute mad lads, Malcolm Hope and Law Topsy. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and along with my other channel members. As I was saying, it seems like only yesterday we were still seething over that last series finale.
She was pointing out the name of the road. She was naming you.
Yeah, that's definitely... It really is quite... I've recorded this video over the course of 3 days, right? It's still triggering every single time.
But we can all agree that Season 1 was a huge improvement from what came before. Unless you're part of that anti-woke grifter community that's about to leave a comment on this video saying, "Rest in peace, Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017.
I took the walk, swollen. I took the walk, swollen.
Facts.
Either way, Doctor Who returned with...
Do you know what makes me laugh, actually? Is the fact that the grifters claim that they love the Peter Capaldi era so much, right? Most of that series surely goes against their ideology completely, so they surely must have hated that series as well? Or are they just pretending that they liked it because it was last white man to play Doctor?
Season 2, or Series 15. It was filmed back to back with Season 1, and there were some concerns. Were we going to have the same issues that plagued Season 1? Well,
Yes.
that's all up in the air, gang. But when they released the promotional content for Season 2, man, mud downstairs was tingling all over the place, I'll tell you. It looked like Russell had been saving some bangers for this season, which for some people may be a season too late, but for most, we were frothing at the idea of consuming some absolute belters. But that's what I'm here to find out, whether or not this season was any
Epic
good,
sauce.
or just a stinky pile of mess. And you guys know how we do. We have a tier list ranking from perfect down to the scary depths of god-awful. Ugh. I break down every episode, take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I rank them in said little tier list. Are you following? You should do. It's not rocket science, so get a grip. This is some solid content right here, so you should definitely
Make sure you leave a like and subscribe right now, guys, on this video. Thank you.
I can't move until you press the subscribe button. Like, genuinely, please.
I'd say the worst part about making these videos is the intro. I hate doing the intro. I edit the actual tier list part first, and then I'll do the intro at the end, because it's like a little reward for me. It's like, I've finally done the big chunk. I have to do the intro at the end as well, because my channel members, they update throughout the month. Some of you cancel, some of you join. So I have to make sure the names are actually up to date. So yeah, I have to do the intro at the end.
Also, smash the heck and flip out of that like button, gang, or I'll start making kiss and prank videos, and yeah, nobody wants that. Okay, guys, that's all.
Does anyone remember Prank Invasion? Holy moly, I cannot believe that this era of YouTube was a decade ago. 2016 was different gravy, man. You had Leafy is Here. I also used to do commentary videos back in the day, heavily inspired by Leafy is Here, because let's not get it twisted. Leafy is Here would make like 3 10-minute videos a day. Him just playing CSGO Surf, and then him just being like, "Oh my god, guys, this guy is super epic cringe." I wanted some of that. What I used to do is I used to play Black Ops 2 I used to play Black Ops 2 Zombies and do this and just copy his videos and just see what video he reacts to today, and then I did it. And it did alright. I used to get quite a bit of views. My problem is that because I was like 15, 16 at the time, I had really little understanding of just being a normal human being. I was really horrible at times. This YouTube at this time was like the edgy era, right? So I was just a dickhead. And I was a dickhead in real life as well. I had this period where like, I thought I was so edgy that it was starting to seep into my real life. And I was being a bit of a dickhead at this time. Yeah, 2017 was a bit of a reality check for me. Then for some reason, my account got suspended and I had 3 channels under that one Google account, and Google just deleted it. And I tried to appeal it. I still to this day don't know why it got deleted, but I'm grateful that it did get deleted. Holy moly.
So let's take a whiz of the TARDIS and take a journey through time and space. I don't know. Enjoy the video, I guess. Ho, 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 my cute little Christmas elves. Don't we all just love a little holiday spirit? I sure do. Get your eggnogs and your Yule logs as we delve into the 2024 Christmas special that
Hooray.
is Joy to the World. So, Stephen Moffat has returned, so you know it's about to get all timey-wimey and stuff, and the intro perfectly demonstrates this, as we see multiple different time zones where the Doctor just comes in, he's all like,
Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte.
Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte. Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte.
we meet this one-off companion, Joy.
I definitely sound like I have some sort of cold in this. Thank you for listening to my epic input.
To stay in a hotel for some reason on Christmas Eve. How is there even a hotel available, to be honest? She gets taken to her room and then she just starts chatting with a fly.
Oh, hello. Merry Christmas.
I'm so damn confused.
I don't find that funny anymore, and the main reason for that is I'm so annoyed. So you guys know when I was making my Sarah Jane Adventures Series 3 video, my hard drive corrupted and I lost absolutely everything. I basically made like 4 members only videos, all about the behind the scenes of the making of this video and how I like come up with my jokes, how I record it, how I edit it, and it was a really good video. And I was so close to finishing, and then my hard drive corrupted and I lost it all, and I'm still so upset to this day. But yeah, so I've watched me edit that clip like 15 million times and I don't find it funny anymore. Stephen Moffat's return is met with another one of his classic tropes. Ooh, there's always a random locked door in the hotel. Why can't we ever access it? Ugh. It's called a maintenance cupboard, Steve. It's where the janitors keep all their shit, but okay, for sure. Obviously, it is an interesting concept, as most of us do experience locked rooms in our hotel rooms. But locked doors. Locked doors. Why do I not revise this? Why did I did not notice me saying locked rooms. I should just lock doors in your hotel rooms. Stupid ah. Stupid ah. Stupid ah, Danny. Stupid ah, Danny. Rah. I don't know. 6, 7 or that? Sorry. As most of us do experience locked rooms in our hotel rooms. But Jiminy Crickets! A Silurian just walks into the room with a briefcase?
What?
Oh yeah, excellent delivery that. What? That's what. Hey, hang on a minute. That's literally what I do. What? What the frick? Which obviously I think everyone got from like PewDiePie. What? Oh yeah, excellent delivery that. Woohoo! Welcome to Christmas. So the Doctor has landed in this spacey hotel, and man, I love the set design in this episode. And at first, I was really confused as to why all these people from different time zones were walking around, but it actually turns out it's the guests dressing up in the appropriate attire for the time period they're staying in. That's pretty cool. Also, the addition that the kitchen works 30 minutes in the future is just, it's so wonderfully Moffat, innit? I love that we see the Doctor come out in a dressing gown, just making himself at home. This is where we meet Stylax from Plebs.
Sorry, is that a toilet?
Is it a what?
You've got a newspaper?
And I just really like him in this episode. Whilst we don't get to know him too well, you really do feel for him. His awkward energy and his simple want to just do the right thing and please someone. It's just a cute little sweetie pie, this man. Best character in Joy to the World, by the way. And that's a low bar, to be fair. It's a very low bar. I do not like this episode, by the way. I really hope I didn't rank it too high. The fact that I only made this 8 months ago and I've forgotten it, it's ridiculous. That's the problem when you make like long form content that's like over 2 hours. I spend so long on it and then like I just start on the next one and then my brain just gets wiped. I don't remember anything from this. I just remember being really angry at the end. I sure hope he doesn't get game ended. It does get brought back by some of that, ooh, Doctor forgets he's alone stuff. I'm really not a fan of this. Like, I would get it if he had tragically lost Ruby, but he didn't. They had a perfectly standard and amicable departure. And whilst, yes, he might miss her, I don't see how he keeps forgetting that he's not with her anymore. Do you know what I mean? So there's this spooky little suitcase, which the Doctor wants a little slice of, but it turns out that when it transfers ownership, people get Thanos'd. Oh no, Trev.
Oh no, I was on a mission.
Oh, my little heart, my little heart.
I went and let him down.
Oh, man. Why is that so sad? Anyway, so it comes full circle and we're back in the hotel room. Man, what a mess this scene is. There's some really good dry humour.
I'm so sorry. This has never happened before.
But then in typical Moffat fashion, he likes to take a little jab at men.
Oh, this is just men all over, isn't it? Even lizard men. Oh, I know.
Okay, fine, whatever. There's another really funny joke where Joy assumes there's something romantic going on between the two of them.
And the flesh will rise.
Don't be filthy.
Okay, that was pretty good. But the Silurian transfers the case to Joy and then he dies and the Doctor starts crying. There's no teardrop yet. No, I saw the teardrop. Fuck! I saw the teardrop. No. Listen, I get it. It's sad. Damn, I tell you what, I miss that room. I do miss this room, and I'll tell you for why. I miss the space. I do miss the space. And I liked my bed. I don't have my bed anymore. I don't really miss where I used to live. Obviously, I've been living in Wales for literally just over 2 months now, and I'm living at my sister's house. And yeah, man, I don't miss that house, but I definitely miss that room sometimes. I'm not upset because he's crying again. I'm upset because I've got to drink absinthe. It's my own rules. I did it to myself. Come on, man. You can't cry at that. And you've seen so many people die. The fact that I got to play... He's just very emotional. I know. I get it. The fact that I had to play a drinking game just in case Ncuti Gatwa cries
is testament enough as to how ridiculous it was getting. Like, because it really was every episode. At first, it was the grifters that were complaining about it, like calling him a pussy and whatever. And, you know, I thought, no, a man crying does not equal pussy. But Ncuti Gatwa's crying rate was pretty damn high and pretty damn annoying as well.
To point out, absinthe, by the way, guys, is 80%. 80%. I'm going to be absolutely pissed after this one.
People didn't
If any
even
of you are
believe
gonna
this was
criticise me in
real.
the comment saying, well, that's not a full shot. That's not a full... If he's crying over this, and we're 10 minutes in, I'm sorry, it's going to get a lot worse in it.
Facts. That's a lot of absinthe. And that's real absinthe. It was from Spain.
Foster's, out-of-date vodka, and absinthe. Oh, this is going to be difficult. I honestly get that this Doctor is more emotional than most. Him crying this early on at a Silurian he's known for literally 30 seconds is just a bit much. It just slows everything down. But it's all good because he literally forgets 5 seconds later.
I think that is the problem. It's not so much that the 15th Doctor's crying every 5 seconds. It's the fact that his emotional switch up was just so jarring. He'd just start crying and be like, this is super sad. Anyway, let's go zooey-dooies around the world. I love the world so much. This is me in my Scottish accent, apparently. Now I'm going to Plymouth. And now I'm Daddy Hagrid. Hello. My voice is doing multiple different tones. Why am I speaking like this? You fucked it. Whose voice is this?
Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked.
Sidetrack? J-Talks?
Then the Doctor says this.
You were being mansplained by a briefcase.
What?
That
I
doesn't
genuinely
make sense.
think Stephen just has buzzwords that he just likes to fit in to seem like he's like super...
Progressive buzzwords. Mansplain. Yep. Men have huge egos. Men are pigs. Anything regarding lesbians. Only lesbian stuff. No gay men. Just lesbians. God, I love lesbians.
Progressive and stuff, but it just comes across really unnatural. Anyways, there's this proper funky bootstrap paradox sequence, which I absolutely love. The Doctor has to wait a whole year, and it is just a purely wonderful bit of television. A more domestic Doctor is shown working at the hotel. Him using the psychic paper to take people's orders, turning Anita's car into TARDIS blue. It's just a really sweet sequence. And despite us only knowing Anita for a short period of time, this montage does a really good job of establishing their growing friendship, in my opinion. This makes the inevitable departure actually quite sad. The Doctor thanking her for finally getting to experience a normal life for a while, and he genuinely appreciates it. It's just lovely. And I really wanted to see more of Anita. Unfortunately, however, this for me is where the episode just tails off. I mean, the two characters I actually liked have now gone. So yeah, that's good, isn't it? So Vanguard from the Boom episode want to make their own star or something. The Doctor then berates Joy by slating her choice of hotel room, saying it reflects her, despite her not having a choice because she didn't book the room prior.
You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm going to kill you, give me $200.
Literally, one tweak to the writing here explaining that she booked the hotel room in advance would have made this scene make more sense. Of course, though, it was just a tactic to make her all angry about the fact that Boris was having secret sessions during lockdown. So let's talk about this. This episode is obviously taking a jab at the government for the events during the pandemic. And yes, everyone would agree that what the Tories did during lockdown was absolutely deplorable. And everyone would agree with the point this episode is trying to make. But I feel like this is quite insensitive in a way. If the writing was a bit more nuanced, then maybe I could look past it. Doctor Who has always reflected real life events and tragedies within its stories, but it's done it in a way that makes it its own. This is a very recent and very real thing that happened. And again, I don't think it would be as bad if it wasn't for the last scene. Oh, that bloody scene. Also, having Joy FaceTime her mum with a camera that is definitely not from an iPhone angers me 10 times more.
Forget the political stuff. This shit is what makes me angry. Why is it in television and films do they make everyone FaceTime each other on super crisp HD cameras? I would say it's actually easier to just use a real iPhone and send the footage to the editor. Why do they insist on setting up a grade A perfect cinema camera? I mean, look at that. It looks like she's in a studio. I just hate it. It's always done to make the show look nice and, you know, crisp and HD and good. But it actually makes the show look cheap and nasty. Have it realistic. I don't know why it's so difficult for TV shows to do this. If I ever wrote a TV show that had a FaceTime call in it, you can fucking bet your ass I am not having a crisp camera in it. God! Actually gets me so cross right now.
I really hate when TV shows and films do this. It's
Me
just,
too.
it's so fucking annoying. Anyway,
Me
the
too.
T-Rex sequence is hella cool. It looked pretty amazing, but then after that, the special effects kind of just fell apart. Like, they all look pretty stinky poo-poo. Trev manages to make the Doctor proud, which, yeah, I liked. Very good. But damn, the ending to this episode. Holy schmoly, it's bad.
Yep.
Joy eats the star seed. Look how terrible this looks, man. Look at it. And then Joy does the whole, lad, you need a friend. Yeah, you need a friend. Yeah, Donna's already done that. But basically, she literally commits suicide to be a star. The star that guided the wise men to the little baby Jesus.
It is funny that she's meant to, be the star that guided the three wise men. But it says here, look, as I put there, the camels are already in Bethlehem. The camels are already in Bethlehem. So how the fuck did they get there?
Little baby Jesus. Yeah, and then she just sucks up her mum. Yeah, what a load of baloney. So, this story I think would have been 10 times more impactful if it was Anita that joined the Doctor in this story. Joy barely reacted to anything that was going on in this episode, whereas Anita, from the short time that we knew her, was very deadpanned and very unfazed and very funny. This actually would have... And then having Anita save the day in some other way that wasn't this, I think her departure would have been way more impactful. But hey, I can't change what's already happened. I think Ncuti Gatwa did shine in this episode, and he really suits Stephen Moffat's style of comedy. I love the scene in which the Doctor is stuck at the hotel for a year. I would have just loved a whole episode of that, to be honest. Stephen Moffat's reliance on buzzwords and his strange obsession with lesbians. And then the episode looks amazing in some parts, and then truly awful in others. And the ending is pretty tragic. It's sad to think that this is Stephen Moffat's last episode of Doctor Who, because he came in strong with Boom, but he is leaving on a bit of a whimper with this one. Guys, I'm putting this episode in stinky. Yeah, I know. It might be a bit harsh, but honestly, I don't think I'll ever watch this episode again. Well, now it's the official start of Season 2, and we are going to be introduced to the brand new companion, Belinda Chandra. No, not Rani Chandra, Belinda Chandra. Ooh. The Robot Revolution. The episode starts in the year 2007, where Incel Caricature adopts a star as a little gift for Belinda.
This is a reminder of how we're getting older now. Because this sort of flashback, it's like series 1 of Doctor Who going back to the 80s, right? That's the same amount of time between now and 2008. That's so weird to me. I don't understand this logic. I swear when I was growing up in the 2000s, people spoke about the 80s like it was years ago, right? Like it was a different lifetime. But now the 2000s is the same amount of time away as that was. And now the 80s was 40, nearly 50 years ago. I don't understand, man. We're at the point now where Doctor Who is now going back in time to after the revival started.
Oh my god, I'm watching footage of me, I hate it! Cutting to 17 years later, the Doctor is trying to find Belinda, in which he causes a power cut in this hospital. Sorry. Yeah, he's basically just killed a lot of people. But because the RTD...
Well, people didn't like that joke either. Danny, they actually have backup generators. If they had backup generators, all the lights would still be on, wouldn't they? But obviously I know that. It's just a joke. Gods, relax.
But because the RTD2 era doesn't want to give us any time to breathe, it just gets straight into it. The big robots from the Sarah Jane Adventures come crashing into Belinda's house. I will say the idea that Belinda is seen as this queen because the planet is named after her is actually quite funny. But Belinda just does not seem fazed by this at all.
The cat is irrelevant.
These are behaving like the Jadoons as well. This is Smith & Jones. This is just Smith & Jones rewritten. Also, you just killed a fucking cat. That's a step too far, Mr. Robot Man, and I'm not happy about that. You don't kill cat, you don't kill animals. Well, that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. Kill people, that's fine.
Did this hurt anyone's eyes, by the way? Because I actually quite liked the big, bright, coloured background, but I don't know if it's hurting my eyes or not.
You do not kill a cat. These pesky robots, they got a lot to answer for, I tell you. Not sure on Belinda's reaction to this. 2 huge alien robots have just smashed her house to pieces, and she's like, I'm not going to come with you. I'm from Sheffield now, apparently. We then see Mrs. Flood, who is now Belinda's neighbour. Honestly, I'm waiting for the series finale before I make judgments on her, but the fourth wall breaking I cannot stand. For the life of me, I hate it. There's so much fourth wall breaking in this era, it's actually annoying. Belinda gets taken onto the space rocket, where time goes all funky and stuff. But this is when she's brought to Miss Belinda Chandra 1. I absolutely love the sci-fi feel this episode has. It's super bright and colourful.
See, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people thought it looked crap. But on the contrary, I actually thought it was alright looking, the episode. I quite liked that it was super, like, saturated and colourful.
Big, bulky and practical. And it has loads of little funky little gadgets. But why has Belinda been brought to this planet? Well, she's been brought for an arranged marriage where she'll be turned into this cyberpunk baddie. Honestly, not against it. I love this every 9th word sequence where the Doctor has to communicate with Belinda, although I will say iCarly did do this first.
4th of July.
Every 4th.
Word.
Every 4th.
Word.
Yeah, epic space battle.
Any of you who watched iCarly, that was big brain move from then. Holy moly. iCarly was a nuts show, by the way. Heavy inspiration to my early video making days. I have also actually noticed that all of the YouTubers I've watched as a kid have all been cancelled now. All the TV shows I've watched have had someone cancelled. I'm like, I was really just growing up in an era where like everyone was a wrong'un.
I love it! And a really important character who has had 2 lines of dialogue has been absolutely game-ended. Damn. Don't worry guys, she got to really quickly explain her and the Doctor's relationship literally 3 seconds before she dies.
He came to us as a stranger and in just 6 months I have learned to trust him with my life.
Wow, now her death has more meaning and is super impactful.
Yeah,
we see Belinda's
writing.
job come to use pretty early on in this episode, and it does stay prominent throughout this series so far, which is way more characterization than Ruby got in the entirety of season 1. I also like that Belinda is very cynical of the Doctor in this episode, which is a great difference to, oh, woo-wee, Doctor, you're so super duper cool and I love you so much. Anyways, after some more moping around, Belinda is taken to the AI generator for her wedding. It's Al.
It's so interesting as well that like Russell T Davies did so much writing around AI and the dangers of AI. Oh, Russ. Then you go and post AI slop on your Instagram story. I don't understand it.
I just think it's the goofy smile that just really took me out, because he actually looks kind of cool and could have been like super threatening.
Planet of the incels.
Yeah, so this episode moves so fast, it barely establishes Al as this incel enough for this reveal to make much sense. Yes, he made a passive-aggressive comment at the start of the episode.
You could fold the paper and save it for later, but never mind. Do you like it, or...?
Yes.
And now we know that he also plays video games. But this episode comes across more like, haha, Gamer Boy is the subject of ridicule, more than it is like a thought-provoking message on the danger of incel culture. Look, I'm not saying that it always has to be super thought-provoking and nuanced, but at least do a better job of establishing Al as a character before having this big reveal. But that is just a huge prime issue of this era in general. But hey, at least there's this hella cool visual sequence when they touch certificates. But yeah, the day is saved, I guess. I don't know. And I do like the fact that Belinda doesn't want to travel with the Doctor. In fact, she's very against it. And that's just such a fresh dynamic to see. But guys, we can't get a whole series of Doctor Who if it was that simple. Nah, of course not. The TARDIS goes all skits and stuff. And the episode ends with this hella cool, eerie shot. Damn. Consider me intrigued, big boys. So, the positives. Belinda is established pretty amazingly. Her dynamic with the Doctor is fresh and interesting. You get a real understanding of her character, and despite her frosty start with the Doctor, I am intrigued to find out how this relationship with the Doctor will develop.
Guys, are you having fun of me just literally sitting here watching this video? Because at the moment, I'm not disagreeing with too much. This is obviously the most recent video is that I've reacted to my own self. Does that make sense? But I'm actually not disagreeing with anything that I'm saying here. But I think it's pretty solid facts. This episode was a bit of a jingly-jangly mess. I think this episode also proves that, like, Russell T Davies is not great at season openers and season finales. He's great at building characters. Like, that's just... I just get so upset with this era because his one thing is character writing. He's so good at character writing, and it's pretty much non-existent in this era.
And I thought visually, this episode is smexy as hell. The negatives? Yeah, the incel commentary, if you want to call it that, was just a bit shite. The Al reveal was super goofy, and the pacing to this episode is all over the place, man. I just feel like Russell has parked his big bunda right on my face, and I can't breathe, man. Get off me, man. I need some space. But it is a fun episode nonetheless. It does try a few creative things as well for me, so guess what? I think that's all right. So I'm going to be putting this episode in okay. Lux. When the trailer for season 2 came out, it's safe to say that this episode was the one that grabbed everyone's attention. Now this got me well excited, as well as 99% of the Doctor Who fans. This looks great. Because it is using that exact same sort of filter and animation style as Cuphead. And obviously the earlier... what's it like to be so full of hope again? Us Doctor Who fans have really just lost it, haven't we? We are expecting a big announcement soon from Russell Davies. It's probably going to happen right after this video gets uploaded or right before. We ain't got much to hold on to at the moment. Disney-ish cartoons, so this is going to be epic. I'm really hoping they utilise this a lot in the episode, and it does something creative, and this is not just some fancy visual effect that's going to be used in one shot like this one and then just instantly dropped. I really hope this is something quite important and is a big focal point of the episode. I hope so. It probably won't, but, you know, we can hope, we can dream. A cartoon Cuphead Disney-style villain? Hell yeah. This episode doesn't take long to get started. Silly man leaves a spoon in the moonlight, resulting in Mr. Ring-a-Ding-Ding becoming a real-life cartoon.
Want to join my free gift card giveaway?
Those of you that don't know the voice of that's a kid called Derv, who blew up on YouTube like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a bit longer. He basically made Calling the Boss Baby at 3 a.m. videos and did lots of fake giveaways. So, whilst the TARDIS is going all skits, Belinda uses this to discuss her family, and the Doctor creates this vindicator thing. They land in 1952, and this is just perfect Doctor Who. The excitement of changing wardrobe, finding something suspicious, and the Doctor's curiosity getting the better of him. This is what me likes. The sequence in the diner is just top notch. The way that racism is addressed is just pure perfection.
I have toppled worlds. Sometimes I wait for people to topple the world. Until then, I live in it. And I shine. As
much as the grifters want to complain about the show being woke, I don't think this show could have addressed racism better than that. Now, whilst it could be seen that the Doctor is sort of shutting down Belinda's concerns, it does make sense in the fact that there's things at stake that are more important than being frustrated with racism at this moment. Yeah, I think a lot of people's criticism of that scene in particular was like, he's just shut Belinda down. Like, Belinda's very valid in being concerned about racism during this time. And she is. But also, I like the fact that in this scene, the Doctor's just like, this issue is taking priority right now. Let's sort that out. He addresses quite quickly on how to overcome it because he's aware that it's very prevalent. You guys have got to sort it out. They then talk to this woman about her son that went missing, and they talk about how the TARDIS brings hope. And I think the dialogue here is just great.
It says police box.
Does that give you hope?
It does, sir.
Hope can change the world.
It's just a top scene. The Doctor promises to find all of the missing people and they break into the cinema. Ta-da! The comedic timing and dialogue in this scene is great. The visual style is great too, and it quickly turns dark.
Because it sounds like this.
We meet the caretaker of the cinema, and luckily Mr. Ring-a-Ding walks super slowly, so it gives enough time for the caretaker man to dump exposition about his backstory and his motivations. I must say though, I love that Mr. Ring-a-Ding manipulated him by letting him dance with his wife. And visually it just looked amazing. Anyways, Mr. Ding-a-ling then interrupts and the episode starts to get a little bit meta.
Animated!
The Doctor and Belinda become animated, and I will say the visual style again is pretty fantastic. The over-the-top voice acting, which is reminiscent of an old 60s, 70s Scooby-Doo cartoon, is great.
60s, 70s,
it is very
6, 7,
self-aware
6, 7.
that in order for a character to be three-dimensional, they need depth, and a character gains depth by being sad. Unfortunately, Russell, there's a little bit more to it than that, but it's clear to me that's how you think that the 15th Doctor is three-dimensional, just by having him cry all the time. Anyway, they manage to escape and it leads to this fake-out racist sequence in which the Doctor notices continuity error, which I think was pretty cool. Of course, this pissed off the grifters for some reason. You know, show woke and all that. All the wokey show, woke show and all that. You would have thought that they would be into the whole Doctor and Belinda being targeted because of their race, considering that's literally their shtick. Anyway, it gets super meta when they enter the living room of Doctor Who fans.
Oh my god. It happened.
And I can't help but think this is a pretty great episode idea within itself, because it does feel a little bit out of place here, but it's a funny sequence. When I think of this scene, I forget it's part of Lux. Do you know what I mean? I always forget it's part of Lux, but then I also do forget this scene quite a lot. It's so out of place in this episode. I think at the time of this releasing, it was more like, wow, this is so cool, we're being acknowledged, look at us, God, we're so desperate. But at the same time, it is a little bit out of place. And it goes on for way too long.
God, you're so annoying.
Lots of people say that.
My criticism is the scene goes on for just way too long, and it ends all emotional and things, and it feels out of place, but it was an enjoyable scene nonetheless. But then Mr. Ring-a-Ding says, "Hey up lad, give me all your regeneration energy, like, because I want to turn into like real boy and that." And then this wonderfully terrifying scene in which Lux starts to transform is just absolutely sensational and just genuinely creepy, and also got me 2 million views, so thanks. Do you know how much money I lost because of this fucking this episode of Doctor Who? BBC. Yeah, I've still got problems with you. Bearing in mind, you know, the household has paid a TV license for God knows how long. Yet the first opportunity you had to take all my money, you fucking took it. Basically, most of my reactions to season 2 were all copyright struck, and the BBC did it all on the same day as well. They waited to see how many views I was getting, and when they were like, "Oh fuck, these are actually doing okay," bang, take his money. I managed to get one of them reinstated, but by that point, the views had already died out, so there's literally no point. I'm still very much upset about that.
I am real.
Wow. Oh my god. That's horrific. But the resolution to this episode... But also, thank you for the 3 million views it got me. Episode is just the caretaker sacrifices himself and blows up the cinema to expose Lux to the sun, where he becomes absolutely just like mahoosive, and then he just creams himself and just disappears. Murray Gold is flexing his sexy musical numbers. It's just a beautiful little ending. We then go back to that meta-ness with the fans giving their review of the episode.
Though I'd mark it down to a 7 out of 10 because it gave away the ending in the middle.
All right, Russell, I get it. That's exactly what I'm doing. But just because you're self-aware of the issues of this episode doesn't mean I can't knock it down a few points. So, the episode is visually stunning. You can actually tell they were very passionate about this episode, and that is why, hands down, it is one of the best of this era. The pacing is a little clunky, and the meta scene with the fans tried a little bit too hard to be all emotional, and it did go on for a tad too long, and I would have liked to have seen Lux just a little bit more, but I get it, alright? He must have taken up a large chunk of the old budget, and those of you that saw my reaction video to this episode know that it made me hella emotional. Right, listen, I was very hungover, alright, so I was a little bit in my feels, okay? That episode just made me remember. I used to do this annoying thing where whether episodes would come out on Saturday, my 9 to 5 was horrendously stressful at this point. So what I would do is every Friday would be the night that me and my best mate who I work with, who also hates his job, so me and my best mate, we would go out every Friday and just drink. And for some reason, when I am hungover, I am like hyper emotional. So that didn't help. Obviously, my dad died like two months before, and so I wasn't necessarily so upset about that. It was more like my mental state was so all over the place at this point. I was like, oh damn, life's changing, everything's changing, things are happening. It was a very weird time, this. I've gotten better now, but definitely this got so much worse in towards the end of 2025. It was so much worse. But I'm on the tail end of it now, I think. This is going to be on YouTube forever. Danny, remember this, you fucking prawn. I love this show so much. It's like... Just gonna skip ahead. I didn't realise I put the whole bloody thing in. God, look at me trying to pad out the runtime. So with love, all eras, despite my qualms. But there's not really anything that I really disliked about this episode. But it's definitely not perfect. So I am going to put this episode in bloody great. Fair enough. The Well. Sequels, most of the time, are something that we always want, but rarely ever need. It was swirling around the old grapevine that this episode was going to be a sequel to Midnight, and if that was the case, this episode would have to be absolutely spectacular. Midnight, along with The Waters of Mars, is my favourite episode of Doctor Who. It is also a story that, quite frankly, doesn't need a sequel, because the story of Midnight is not about the entity itself. The intro to this episode confused me straight off. The TARDIS lands unexpectedly, and the Doctor has no idea where they are, but they come out dressed up exactly the same as everyone else, ready to join in the action. Literally, one line of dialogue could have sorted this. Literally saying, "Oh, we've landed on this ship. I know this one. It requires a specific suit." I know, I'm a natural born writer. It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of fans made their own justifications for this, saying, "Oh, the TARDIS knows, so it prepared its outfits for them, yada yada." But to me, it's just a bit of a cop-out. Anyway, that's the one criticism I have of Doctor Who fans. I say one, I've got plenty of criticism of Doctor Who fans. It is one of the most annoying things about Doctor Who fans. They make their own headcanon to write off criticism. Because I saw that a lot for this. A lot of the valid reaction to this was, how do they dress up in the exact same suit to the T as the crew they've not even seen yet. You know what I mean? Surely they would have come out in their orange suit, you know, the typical Time Lord Doctor Who orange spacesuit. And then because the show doesn't address it, it leads fans to going, actually, I think it's because the TARDIS actually has a room that actually calculates all of the areas that it's in and then actually makes clothes for the Doctor and stuff. It's like, come on, that piece of canon has never been confirmed either. They end up with the space crew who are currently on a mission to find colonists who have gone all silent. But they don't know what's happened. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very intrigued. And once they infiltrate the base, they find a lot of game-ended people whose bones are all like broke and stuff.
Half of them have been shot. Half of them have been assaulted.
But guys, what the heck in crud could be causing all of this? This innocent, sweet, deaf woman. I think the subtitles on the screen are such a cool little addition. I love how this was implemented. But the fact still remains. This woman killed someone. Why? Hang on, guys. Gotta do some spooky dooky jump scares first. Whoa, what the fuck? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Everyone.
Mate, I don't like that. Stop.
You realise now that the jump scares are not actual jump scares. It is just dialogue is very quiet. Boom! Loud noise. It wasn't so much the entity itself that was scaring me. It was the jarring loud noise. I don't like loud noises, I say as I shouted down the microphone.
I don't even get scared or nothing. I'm a big boy. You're not pussies, man. Yeah, so obviously we don't fully see the midnight entity, but for someone who has had to edit this and see this, yeah, I'm not really a massive fan. I wanted it purely to just be my imagination, and now I've got like this vague idea of what it looks like, and I don't like that. So we see footage of the miners freaking out, which leads us to the big epic reveal.
It was called Midnight.
I've been here before.
Yeah, and then people just start getting yeeted all over the joint. Belinda then gives the most ridiculous visual explanation of the entity.
If this is Alice, and this is us, and if you go behind it, you die.
I was wondering.
Wow! Tell us again! So this episode, I actually think that's one of my favourite jokes. That's such a Stranger Things visual representation, by the way, that was just not needed.
If this is Alice, and this is us, and if you go behind it, you die.
I was wondering.
Wow! Tell us again!
So this episode tries to do some of the psychological horror that the original Midnight did, but it just doesn't hit the same. Literally everyone just starts getting thrown around, and to be honest, it doesn't look good. I love that the Midnight entity got into everyone's minds to the point where people just started killing each other or themselves. I'm not a fan of it throwing people around.
I stand by this.
I understand it's been 400,000 years, it's probably evolved, but the whole reason the Midnight entity is so iconic...
I got a lot of people telling me that I was wrong because I should have expected the entity to evolve. That doesn't make me wrong, by the way. The entity's obviously just evolved because it's been like 400,000 years, so just actually understand. So what, in 400,000 years it's learned to just throw people? Do you know what I mean? The point of Midnight is not that it was super scary, it was the psychological torment that it put all of the characters through. The Midnight entity was smart enough not to actually harm anyone in Midnight, it just let everyone do it themselves. And that to me is 10 times more terrifying and much more powerful than having it just throw people around. So if anything, I'd actually say it's devolved.
Listen, I understand it's been 400,000 years, it's probably evolved, but the whole reason the Midnight entity is so iconic is because of how it worked. Same with the Weeping Angels. When you change what makes them so frightening, it loses their fear factor. But that's just my opinion, you know what I mean? There's this strange moment where the Doctor talks to it or something.
He knows my name.
So then the Doctor makes the entity see its own reflection to get it off of Alice's back. Yikes.
Yeah, God, that does look bad.
But then it goes behind Belinda.
You don't think?
He's here.
So Captain Woman shoots her and then goes and throws herself into the well. Yes, just like the episode name. Now, obviously Belinda's fine. And then we get another Susan Twist but not Susan Twist cameo. But holy schmoly, the entity is still alive. What the heck? Okay, so as a standalone episode, this episode's really good. And that's exactly what this should have been. Okay, in reality, this has no correlation to Midnight whatsoever. And to me, it was so blatantly added as an afterthought to generate content. I just don't think it was needed. It could have been any planet and any monster, and in my opinion, that probably would have been more effective. Because the way the entity acts takes away from how the entity behaved in the original Midnight. And yes, technically there's no confirmation as to whether or not this is the same entity, but when you're saying it is the same planet and a sequel to the original episode, it's a clear implication that this is the same entity. I don't know. I personally feel like this was done as a way to make Twitter go into a meltdown instead of actually having real relevance. I think the death scenes are goofy as heck, but I love the premise. The character of Alice was great. The Doctor and Belinda were great. And despite having cheap jump scares, they did make me jump. And all in all, this episode continues a really, really strong start to the season. And at this point, my hope in Doctor Who was restored. So guess what? I'm putting this episode in good.
Wait, what?
What's a strong start? Let's hope.
I can't say it's a strong start and then put the episode in good when there's one episode in great. That doesn't make sense.
It continues with Lucky Day. This episode starts on New Year's Day 2007, which is super convenient because my intro to my Sarah Jane Adventures Series 1 review opened on New Year's Day 2007 as well. The Doctor Who team clearly love the DTDW YouTube channel. DTDW Easter egg confirmed. Guys, definitely subscribe right now. Let's get to 100,000 million right now. We meet Child Conrad, who we are made to feel sympathetic for because he robs the Doctor of 50 pence and then gets slapped up by his mum.
You're spoiling my night.
And it turns out he runs this little podcast.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word.
So Conrad becomes a little cuckoo for the Doctor when he sees him and Ruby chasing down a spooky monster that kept jump scaring me. And Doctor Who and its bloody jump scares.
You can see how the reaction format changed because I used to have me in a little circle in the corner. I had to change it because the BBC and their copyright, they found it a lot more difficult to flag this than they did the others.
Do you know what it is? It's because it's 8 in the morning. I'm not having this. Right, do you know what? He's been cummed on. I'm sorry. I'm immature, right? Conrad, you might want to look behind you. This spooky sequence is just about how Conrad was following Ruby and then posted her on social media to find her. Average 2025 lad, that innit? Anyway, throughout the episode, Ruby and Conrad build up a cheeky little romance.
Something.
Yes, alien.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh god.
Oh my god, Conrad, you little dork. Such a shy, cute guy. I do like the cinematography and the visuals in this episode. It's pretty top-notch stuff. Even the sequence where Conrad just starts greening out. Anyways, after a cheeky little smooch sesh, they decide to go on a trip together to a little village for a sesh with the lads. But things start going all spooky, and then the monsters turn up. Oh my god, no.
Sorry, love. Who put you in charge?
Oh, go and get some fresh air, big man. See what happens.
Unit turn up looking fucking badass. I never know how to say badass because as an English person it's very difficult because if you say badass it doesn't sound good, but you can't say badass because then it sounds like you're trying to do an American accent. Do you know what I mean? They look cool. Okay, they look.
I let my inner thoughts just come out then. I think about that a lot, actually. Badass. Oh my god, dude, that was so badass. Oh god. I think badass for English people is the same as like American people saying twat or wanker. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't sound right. Oh my god, you're actually such a twat. Ew, stop it. But we say bath and they say bath. We say pasta and they say pasta. We say potato, they say potato. Oh, no, they don't. They say potato the same way. Tomato. That's what I'm thinking of. Tomato. We call it tomatoes. Tomatoes.
In the biggest plot twist of them all, Conrad is actually just a naughty boy. Wait, what?
I will say as well, this reveal doesn't make sense because the positions that those monster things were in, I don't think humans could do. Like I swear they had their legs up in like funky positions that I don't think humans could have done. Also, I really need a poo, so I'm going to go do that now. Ah, dear, that just came out of nowhere, but I need to go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I feel £10 lighter.
Nailed it.
Wait, what?
Exposing the lies perpetuated by Unit.
No way, that is one hell of a twist. You know, it turns out he's a big old meanie pants. Another thing I don't quite understand about this episode is he's got a podcast, right, where he seems really genuine and sweet. So do his fans know he's a grifter as well then? Or did he just randomly switch up on his fans as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, because surely when he's been all lovely and polite and sweet on his podcast, surely his fans would have gone, hang on a minute, whoa, he's actually the complete opposite. Or was he a grifter pretending to be nice on his podcast? If that was the case, then Ruby really should have done her homework. Surely there would already be established news out there that he is a dickhead. This episode is really flawed. Why, you ask? Money? Or something?
You want evidence? I've got plenty of it, so you can...
collecting benefits, stealing our taxes while she lies to us.
This did make me LMAO. This did make me XD. I have seen that exact insult so much by the far right when the irony is that they're the ones usually claiming benefits.
Every person employed by unit. Their names and addresses are on the screen right now.
I will say as well, because I used to work in this department, right? I used to work in this department. Let me tell you for something. 90% of these racist middle-aged white men that sit there and go on and on and on about how immigrants are taking all of our jobs, claiming that they're leeching off of the benefit system when all of them are quite literally claiming disability benefits for mental health. Now, I'm not saying that they can't claim benefits for mental health. What I am saying, though, is they don't realise their own hypocrisy. And it's genuinely baffling, and it's a huge problem.
Every person employed by unit. Their names and addresses are on the screen right now.
So Conrad just starts flat out doxing people very publicly. Yep. Because that's just a super legal thing to do, right? I don't understand how in this episode as well he was not arrested. Because I'm sorry, if you dox that amount of people, you're gonna get arrested. No? Surely? And it also turns out he lied about his mum dying. Why? Like, what was the point of that? Is that just something to show like he's just a super bad boy or something? I just really don't understand the reasoning behind that at all. In fact, this is where things just really start to fall apart, to be honest. Conrad not only shoots someone, he live streams him holding Unit at gunpoint, all to prove that aliens don't exist, despite him knowing that they do. Surely if he just wanted power and money, he would have just kept spreading misinformation, not commit a series of serious crimes expecting not to be put in prison. We then see Kate just lose her shit.
Don't you dare point a gun at her!
So in order to prove that aliens exist to Conrad, Kate releases the shriek. And sure, it's a cool little tense sequence. It even bites his arm. I wonder what the live stream looks like. Everyone's just spamming donos right now. The world is woke. The world is woke. Oh, the Vlinks is dipping. Not having any of this shit. The Vlinks, by the way. What a waste. What absolute waste. Right, this is one gripping live stream. Shit is hell. Right, enough's enough. You proved your point now, Unit. Unit, do the right thing. Oh my god, Kate's lost it. Okay, well done, Ruby. As much as I want to see that knobhead get absolutely eviscerated, they did the right thing.
Go to hell.
She told him to go to hell, though.
These still special effects.
What am I doing drinking Coke Zero at 8 o'clock in the morning? Are you okay? God, I've really changed. I have actually changed a lot in the last year. I don't really touch fizzy drinks anymore, unless it's like with a meal, like when I'm eating out. I've got rid of a lot of my really bad habits. Most of them. But I'm completely nicotine free now, so that's good. And I don't drink nearly as much as I used to anymore. It then ends with this sequence of the Doctor getting all pissed off with him. It gives him a little speech about grifters spreading misinformation, and then goes on to tell Conrad how he'll perish.
You die in a prison cell till your heart packs in age 49, alone and unloved.
Yes, it is kind of a cool moment because we've not had a lot of scenes where the 15th Doctor gets genuinely angry, which is something that has definitely been missing from this era. But it feels more directed at the audience more than anything. Oh, and then Susan Twist 2 appears again just to tease Conrad's return. And listen, I would be like, oh snap! But there's one huge problem, and you all watching probably know what that is. What is this character aside from a satirical caricature of a right-wing grifter conspiracy theorist? Like, I don't understand anything about him. How did he go from getting slapped up by his mum to lying about her death and becoming a conspiracy theorist? Like, it's really not clear. Surely his mum being abusive would have been motivation enough. I think it really muddied the waters when they was like, oh no, me and my mum are great and get on really well. And actually, she's alive and all that. Now I'm even more confused. So how did we get here? Isn't his mum's relationship good then? Is it just clout that he wants? But if it was clout, why did he commit such stupid crimes so publicly? I don't know, it just seems like after the epic twist, the episode didn't really know where to go. And don't get me wrong, the episode does a good job of making me hate the guy, but I just don't understand why he has become this. Like, what is the bigger picture here aside from power and money? Literally none of his character really makes sense other than online conspiracy theorist grifters equals bad. The visuals in this episode are good. Millie Gibson was also good. And it was also nice not to see the Doctor crying. And I guess the alien designs were pretty neat in my opinion, and it wasn't boring.
This is
the
not a good
first 25
episode.
minutes of the episode I quite enjoyed.
Don't
But
think this
more
is
of
good.
that social commentary stuff that just isn't nuanced in any way. It just makes the characters feel completely two-dimensional, which I thought Russell T Davies knew all about, but apparently not. Anyway, I'm putting this episode in okay. The story and the engine.
How time changes your opinion.
This episode is just boring. And I know there's a lot of defenders of this episode who are about to type in my comment section talking about how TikTok brained I am and that I can't appreciate good TV, yada yada. But let me just explain. Just hang on a minute, right? Just hold your horses. I distinctly remember watching this episode thinking, damn, this feels like a Chibnall episode. And it turns out it was supposed to be. So the Doctor is friends with these lads in a barbershop, and the Doctor explains it's his favourite place to go, and he enjoys listening to their stories, and yeah, that's very nice. So when he visits them to find a bunch of missing posters, things get all meta and strange. It turns out that they're all being trapped by this new barber who's powering this ship on a spider with the power of storytelling. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely is one of the most cuckoo, crazy, unique concepts a Doctor Who episode has ever had, I think. But that doesn't make an episode good, though.
It's an incredibly imaginative concept, right? And there is some really beautiful visuals in this episode, despite them kind of just giving up halfway through. But premise, good. Visuals, good. So why do I not like this episode? Well, you can quite literally play any part of the episode at any random point, and it will be someone dumping lore or exposition. It's a whole lot of standing around and explaining, and not a lot of anything else. Take these guys, for instance. They quite literally sit and explain what they were meant to be doing instead of being here in this barbershop. And then they spend the rest of the episode chilling in the background doing bugger all, basically. Like, if you took these lads out of the episode and just had this mysterious barberman and the Doctor, the episode wouldn't have changed all that much. But the thing that really put me off this episode is this shot here.
I was a fugitive back then. I was busy in a different story.
Now, before you just start calling me a Chibnall era hater, I want to emphasise that this little cameo sums up pretty much everything wrong with this era in a nutshell.
Guys, brace yourself, because I'm about to... Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît, mademoiselle. Okay, sorry. Back again. What was I saying? I was saying something big and important. Oh, yeah. I'm about to eat and leave no crumbs, gangsters. Let's see what I have to say.
This little cameo sums up pretty much everything wrong with this era in a nutshell. So we know that this woman is angry with the Doctor because she met the fugitive Doctor before, but we don't see any of it, so it just doesn't really mean anything. Instead of having Joe Martin doing this pretty pointless cameo, why not do a flashback with this woman and the fugitive Doctor, establishing why she was annoyed with her? No, instead spend the budget on Interstellar Song Contest and have Joe Martin do a pointless teasing cameo about how she may come back one day.
I was busy in a different story that might be finished one day.
It just sort of comes across like this conflict was only written as a way to have Joe Martin appear to make people go skits on Twitter than it actually have any importance to the...
I think it's just that line of dialogue that might be finished one day. It just perfectly shows that there was no plan. There's no real reason for this cameo to exist. It perfectly sums up. If they were so sure on the future of this show and the fugitive Doctor as a whole and actually committing to telling her story, they would have said, I will get to tell this story one day. One day I will explain. No, it might be finished one day, depending on who writes the show and how successful it is going forward.
Overall plot. However, if this episode aired in the Chibnall era, it would have made 1,000,000 times more sense. Another thing is, this new era is supposed to be a reset. So with all these bloody returning characters and villains we've had, and then coming off of the back of a Midnight sequel, to then have the fugitive Doctor stand there and say, I was busy in a different story, which might be finished one day. Although, let's be honest, it probably won't, because most people are completely against this incarnation of the Doctor in the first place, and the last thing Doctor Who needs to do is to turn away more of its viewers. This just must be so confusing to anyone new watching this show. It's more of that, let's generate more epic content and epic Twitter moments, and overall it adds absolutely no value. Even the resolution in which the Doctor just shows all of his past faces.
Facts. F-A-X. Facts.
I seriously don't understand why people like this episode, genuinely. Again. Like, seriously, we get it. Let go of the damn past, man. This episode just failed to get my tingles tingling, you know what I mean? It was so boring that I was fighting for my life not to have my eyes just glaze over everything that was happening. And after I watched it, I went to Twitter to see Doctor Who fans saying it was the best episode of Doctor Who ever made. Just left me baffed. I personally have no interest in ever watching this episode again. So, ladies and babies, I know a lot of you will disagree with me on this, and I get that most of you love this episode. And whilst I don't think this episode is stinky, I don't think it was really okay either. It's more of just a not for me episode. But unfortunately, I don't have that in my tier list, so I'm going to have to put it in stinky. I'm sorry, guys. The Interstellar Song Contest. Here we go. Oh boy. I know some of you have been clenching your booty cheeks for this one. I saw a lot of criticisms on this episode because of how camp and cheesy it was. And the thing is, it's an episode based on the Eurovision Song Contest. Cheesy and camp is part of its charm, man. I was really excited when they announced that Graham Norton was going to be in the episode, because I thought this episode was going to have some of his hilarious witty commentary during some of the performances. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The episode starts with Rylan getting ready to host the song contest, and I really liked the inclusion of him. The idea of him being frozen for hundreds of years just to host the Interstellar Song Contest is quite funny. The conversations between the Doctor and Belinda in the pod is authentic, and I'm genuinely starting to believe in their budding friendship. And the visuals of the arena are absolutely stunning. Hey, I was ready for a fun, light-hearted episode, especially after the story and the engine. And it sure as hell started off that way. Hi. Oh dear. So of course, at this point, it's unclear.
I just realised he looks like Curtis Connor, doesn't he? He does look like Curtis Connor.
Who this kid guy is and what his motives are. However, this next sequence is fucking awesome. Kid pulls lever thing and the arena turns a dark red with this harrowing alarm sound. Shit is about to go down, gang. And down the shit goes when we get, in my opinion, the best shot ever in Doctor Who.
That is a cracking shot. That is a cracking shot.
Holy guacamole, that is horrific. The fact that it cuts from those super loud alarms to this eerie, quiet shot of all of the audience just drifting out into space. Holy moly. What a shot! Belinda is panicking because how the hell is she going to get home? Thank you, thank you. I love scenes like this where the companion enters a sudden realisation of, holy schmoly, the universe is not all sunshine and rainbows, and I'm actually like really far away from my house. And I put all of my trust into this mysterious man who can quite literally take me anywhere and anywhen. Big yikes. I love the idea that there is no way to contact the outside world because gambling laws. Genius. Call me an old fart. I fucking hate this Duggadoo thing. I hate it. No.
Genuinely, I think the worst thing Murray Gold has come up with in his entire Doctor Who tenure. I don't think there's ever been a track of Murray Gold's that I've said, I don't like that. Apart from the Duggadoo thing.
So, the Doctor's drifting through space. He's about to freeze when all these strange premonitions of Susan come into his head.
Go back. Go back, grandfather.
And damn is hindsight sometimes an awful thing. At the time this episode aired, I was stoked. Because it's clear there's obviously some intention behind it. Obviously now we know that it actually comes to nothing. Yep, it's now just another thing Russell brought back into this fresh start for the show. The Doctor grabs one of the confetti cannons and blasts himself back. It's proper camp. Which of course the episode is very self-aware of.
Did I just fly through space on a confetti cannon? Yeah. Camp.
So Kid's plan is to commit one of the most heinous crimes in Doctor Who history, wiping out 3 trillion people with this delta wave. And the Doctor is really not happy about it, so he threatens to quite literally game end Kid.
And I will stand and watch you freeze to death.
This continues on from his anger that we briefly see in Lucky Day, which again, I was stoked for. At this point in the story, the Doctor has little knowledge of Kid's backstory, so his anger at Kid for doing something so cataclysmic is understandable. This is where it then gets revealed the true story behind the Hellions. So let's discuss this. The Hellions are a race in which their world has been destroyed and harvested by an evil corporation. And as a result, the Hellions have been villainised. And this Kid guy is out for revenge as he's just doing what's expected of him. Now, most people watching this episode drew parallels with the current Israel and Palestine conflict, and it's safe to say this rubbed people up the very wrong way. I think the biggest issue with this episode is you have a victim of genocide also being the villain of the episode, which some would argue, hey, that's a pretty understandable motive for someone to become a villain. The problem with this example is this Poppy Honey Corporation thing is not in the episode. They're merely just shown in adverts. And because of this, there's absolutely no consequences for them whatsoever. We never know if they were punished, if they were brought down, if the Hellion planet is still under occupation. We'll never know. Now, do I think the writer was intentionally going for what looked like Israeli propaganda? No. Do I think the torture sequence with the Doctor is meant to represent Palestinians? No. Do I think the timing of this episode was horrendously poor? Yes. And do I think the politics of this episode are atrociously executed? Yes. And this was something that I didn't fully clock onto until I rewatched the episode and then did some research for myself. It seems to be that this episode was trying to put out a message that everyone should be united and love conquers all and racism is bad, which in and of itself is not wrong. However, having a Hellion sing a song to a crowd of likely Hellion racists who were just sucked into the vacuum of space and almost murdered by a Hellion just doesn't really work. Now let's go back to the sequence with the Doctor when he starts
Sorry guys, I'm actually dead silent because everything I'm spitting in this episode again is facts. I thought I was going to disagree a lot more, but I don't.
Also, the sonic screwdriver is just insanely overused in this episode. It's really quite annoying. So the Doctor loses his cool, and this is a very morally conflicting sequence. The Doctor only knows that this guy's intention is to end the lives of 3 trillion people. So he's absolutely lost it. I myself would think, yeah, that's a valid reason to absolutely crash out. And the reason that I interpreted this sequence so differently is because he mentions having ice in his heart, which going by the term having a cold heart usually refers to someone who lacks empathy or sympathy towards others. So I thought that was the narrative they were going for here. Because every time the Doctor has lost his cool, there has been consequences. We've seen it with the 10th Doctor in the Time Lord Victorious arc. We've seen it with the 12th Doctor in his Am I a Good Man arc. But in this episode, there is literally no consequences for the Doctor doing this. It was hard to criticise this at the time of this episode airing because the consequences usually come in a future episode. However, we now know what happens and there was definitely no consequences. Belinda simply walks in and the Doctor goes, oh, oopsie poopsie, big L moment, right? And all is forgotten. So Kid has been stopped, and then of course, because modern Doctor Who loves bringing everyone back from the dead, everyone's just brought back with this happy-go-lucky copyrighted song and everyone just goes back to acting like normal. Not at all traumatised or wanting to go home, no. Just instant memory loss. This is when we get to chorus song in which everyone realises racism is bad and the episode ends all happy, until we get Graham Norton appearing just to dump some exposition.
Poor old Earth died many years ago. Cause? Unknown.
Psych! Not before we get this crammed in sequence of the Rani reveal, which is yet another bi-generation. Again, at the time, I was stoked because having 2 Ranis was insanely exciting. But joke's on me, I should have known not to have gotten my hopes up. Also, when I rewatched this episode, I realised how funny it is that the Rani is doing her big return speech to these 2 guys who have absolutely no idea who she is or what is actually going on. Also, how did Mrs. Flood's brainstem freeze to the point of death, yet everyone else survived no problem? This just makes a whole bunch of sense, this one. I've come to realise how much this epic reveal didn't work. Like, I know who the Rani is, so sure, I can be excited by it. But again, isn't this era supposed to be a reset? So the new audience and a large amount of new viewers won't know who the Rani is or what she's about. The Utopia Master reveal works so well because the whole of the Russell T Davies 1 era focuses on the Doctor's loneliness, him being the last of the Time Lords, and how impossible it was for there to be another Time Lord. And we also had that Yana teasing throughout the series. That was genuinely shocking when it was revealed. So this just doesn't work. This is the one episode that I reacted to that my opinion so drastically changed upon a rewatch, and that's mainly because I was feeling so good about the series to this point, as well as being insanely optimistic for the finale. I was effectively blinded by the glaring issues, and this is something all Doctor Who fans experience at some point or another, and I also think this is why the result of the season finale made me feel so unbelievably low. If I can sum up this episode in one word, it's inconsequential. There is absolutely no consequences for the corporation. There's absolutely no consequences for the Doctor's actions. And the entire audience of this Interstellar Song Contest just go back to acting like nothing happened. So ultimately, what happened in this episode was completely pointless. Whilst I still think some people drastically negatively overreacted to this episode, I totally see why this episode is so vastly disliked. And I can totally see where people are coming from with their views on its politics. Whatever this episode was going for was so poorly executed. Graham Norton was absolutely wasted. The actor who played Kid made me cringe. How did Rylan exactly end up being frozen, by the way, if the world ended? It doesn't matter. It's Rylan, isn't it? And singing a song is a lousy way to wrap up an episode in which its themes are so prevalent and substantially dark. I think the visuals in this episode are really great, and the only difference between this episode and Kablam is that the Doctor isn't actively sucking off the gonads of the corporation, telling everyone how much he loves them. This episode is going in stinky.
Holy majoli. I didn't need to input anything there. I think I explained myself pretty damn well. I think I covered that episode. I remember that episode distinctly was the one that I took the most time in writing the script for, because it was such a sensitive topic. You have to make sure you explain yourself clearly, because otherwise you will get people in the comments being like, what? So you support this? What? Oh, I see. So now you're a Zionist, are you? And it's like, whoa, hang up a minute. I'm trying to understand the episode itself here. I mean, the BBC massively claimed my reaction to this video. That's why it's not up anymore. But it was also getting a hell of a lot of hate. I was being accused of being a Zionist because of my interpretation of the ice in the heart thing. People thought that I was supporting a victim of genocide being abused. And obviously, I didn't quite clock and understand why. But even after I'd explained myself in the comments, I was still just getting absolutely berated with abuse. So I was just like, fucking hell, this is not worth it. Holy moly. All this because a writer had terrible execution. Yeah, it was a messy episode to script for. I tell you that.
Wishworld. It's time for a good old series finale two-parter. You guys that watch my channel know I'm a sucker for a first part to a season finale. Specifically, a Russell T Davies series finale first-parter. I even like The Legend of Ruby Sunday, which most people didn't. I know. I like having the excitement and the tension built up, giving me some big old blue balls having to make me wait till next week before seeing the next episode. And Russell has always been great at doing that. It's just his actual finales that have a tendency to let you down. But I usually can take a safe bet when it comes to the first part, because they're usually more dialogue heavy in a way that dumps exposition without it being tiresome exposition dumping. So let's hope this episode is definitely not that. So the episode starts with the Rani going to Bavaria to kidnap a baby, and then she massacres the entire family, but in that charming Doctor Who family-friendly way, turning them into ducks. That's cute. Am I right in understanding that now members of the Pantheon can just be born like normal humans? Man, I really just don't understand how this Pantheon works at all. There's been so much, guys, look at this hella spooky giggle thing that everyone in the Pantheon does. Doesn't that get you all like spooked out? That they actually forgot to explain how the Pantheon actually works. I mean, Lux come from the moon and a spoon. It sounds so ridiculous, man.
It's true.
The episode is set in Conrad's dreamland of a 1950s-looking dystopian conservative world. Now, whilst I'm glad to see the return of John Smith, we vaguely get to see his and Belinda's life as a married couple with their space baby Poppy, who is just the cutest, by the way, before Ruby turns up at the door and can for some reason just remember everything. How does she remember, you ask? Doesn't matter. How does she know where to find John Smith? Doesn't matter. How does she end up here? Guys, it doesn't matter, okay? The plot has got to move forward, okay? So flesh...
Jeez, peeps, this series is a mess, isn't it? It really is a mess. It's good to have some time away to like not think about the show, and then you come back to it and you go, oh yeah, it's even more messy than I realised. Holy moly.
So fleshing out super important details like this is irrelevant, because we want to see Rani fly on her Y-Flicker scooter.
The Y-Flicker Carver is a whole new way to ride. Unlike anything else out there. High-performance casters for faster propulsion and top speed.
I forgot about this.
New Flex technology allows extreme carves, drifts, and insane 360 spins. The Y-Flicker Carver from Y-Volution.
We see this wish
so
world in full
shit.
effect when we see the blatant homophobia.
You're a beautiful man. Was that supposed to mean? No.
We also see Belinda experiencing the
There is an incredible thing about the grifters not being able to establish when a man is good looking. Like I've seen it with people that I've worked with in the past. When they're the typical like trying to be lad, you know, they want to be seen as masculine. They can't be seen as
They can't be seen as zesty. This guy I used to work with, I remember distinctly like pointing out a good-looking man to him. I think we were talking about celebrities, probably David Tennant, but I can't remember exactly who it was. But I remember saying to him like, "Oh my god, that guy, he's gorgeous though. He's a gorgeous guy." He was like, "Ugh, gorgeous. What are you gay or something? You must be gay." And you're like, holy moly, do you know what? If anything, your reaction makes me think that you might be gay. I always find that like men that react so like to the thought of you saying another man is good looking, they're battling something internal that they don't want to share. But I always find it like a sign of you being comfortable with your sexuality if you're just like, that man's gorgeous. It's why I'm so like blasé about being in love with David Tennant. I'm as heterosexual as they come. Queen, I am a straight white male, but I can very much appreciate that David Tennant is one of the most gorgeous men ever. If you're one of the people that's like, oh, you think David Tennant's gorgeous? Oh, you actually must be gay or something. You actually must be gay. That raises a lot of questions about you than it does me, my friend. We also see Belinda experiencing the misogyny of Conrad's world when she's just meant to be a good wife and mother and forgets the birth of her own child. This is where she then randomly runs into a forest and just starts screaming. I honestly don't understand why she does this. She's had one flicker of doubt and she's in the forest screaming. I don't. Also, I love that this sequence with the Rani being all dramatic on her scooter was because she went shopping for some pastrami so Conrad can have his little sandwich. God, the audio levels to this video is terrible. Can't stand it. I just remember hearing everyone collectively cringe when that played in the cinema. Right now, it's the end of you and me. Ruby gets taken to a camp of all of Conrad's undesirables of society, where the homeless and the disabled are left and forgotten. And I really like this as a premise. We even see Thari showing off their masterful acting chops. But this scene is literally just exposition around who Conrad is, and like how he's a super bad man, which we already know.
Conrad Clark is a monster.
What is he? Man, I didn't even get that. Maybe we should just talk some more about it and then I might actually understand and get the message. This ultimately leads to them coming up with this plan to take down Conrad, which leads absolutely nowhere, by the way. It's absolutely pointless. They somehow pull out a fully charged unit iPad that miraculously has access to everything, just for them to seemingly be crushed at the end of the episode. So the Rani's plan is to make the Doctor start doubting so they can accelerate their scheme of bringing back Omega. And the Doctor's doubt is emphasised by having Rogue pop up on the screen telling the Doctor that he loves him. What? Honestly, I still and will always stand by it. This so-called romance is one of the most laughable, rushed and forced things I've... This is straight up arse, by the way. This is just straight up stinky arse. Go on, get in my comment section and call me homophobic, because that's apparently the only cope for the Rogue defenders. Honestly, this whole thing just made no sense. How Rogue just appears from the pits of hell? Please. What doesn't make sense to me is that this era is so hell-bent on nostalgia that having nostalgia bait in this sequence would have actually worked. Having an old companion or an old face turning up to remind the Doctor of who he actually is, that would have actually warranted some nostalgia bait, not some useless flashback or return of a Doctor out of the blue. Rogue's cryptic clue is tables don't do that, referring to the mugs falling through the table every time someone experiences some sort of doubt. And that is honestly a really interesting concept. And even at the start of the episode, you see bins outside of all of the houses to collect the broken mugs, subtly showing that everyone is experiencing doubt. That's a nice little bit of detail right there. Belinda's doubt is focused on quite a lot in this episode, leading the audience to believe that she'll be the next person to understand that this world is wrong, and maybe she could help the Doctor realise himself. No, instead she just stabs him in the back and has Rani's bitch take him away, only for her to be taken away as well. Like, it absolutely just shits on Belinda's character. We already know that she's quite a cynical person and likes to question and confront things when they're wrong, and it ends 3 seconds later with them apologising to each other and being all lovey-dovey again. God, man, I really forgot this. This is stinky poo-poo. I didn't realise how stinky poo-poo this was. God, it's like I'm sitting here convincing myself that the episode was bad. This is my opinion, fuck's sake. I've been taken to this bone palace, which looks fucking awesome, by the way, but it leads to one of the most horrendously drawn-out sequences of the Rani explaining who she is and telling the Doctor who he is, and he's all like, nuh-uh. And honestly, it seriously just goes on for about 10 minutes. Like, Doctor, you were already having doubts, man. Like, get on with it. Russell also writes in this super hilarious self-aware line.
Because this isn't just exposition, Doctor.
Russell, this isn't clever writing here, mate. It's you making up for the fact that you've just realised that 90% of what you've written is just pure exposition. The Rani reveals the big return of Omega.
Omega.
Long live Omega.
And sure, the sound design here...
I tell you what, the sound design is what carries this era. Shock horror, Murray Gold doing heavy lifting. What? This is outrageous. Yeah. Murray Gold, the sound design, is what carries this series. It makes reveals sound super epic.
It's absolutely epic, but this will mean absolutely nothing to a new audience. But ultimately, that's the epic cliffhanger this episode leaves on. Holy schmoly, that was a mess. The Ruby subplot is just completely pointless. Like, seriously pointless. We should have seen the red flags in this episode with Belinda's character assassination, because damn, she was sidelined and effectively pointless as well. This episode has not just brought back one returning Doctor Who character from the classic era, but it's also teased Susan and Omega. Who is Russell writing this for? He has clearly completely lost the ability to take time with characters and reintroducing them.
I rewatched The Stolen Earth a few days ago. I think I've already brought that up in this video, to be honest. The way he brings back Davros is so perfect, because me, as an 8-year-old, had no idea who Davros was. But the way he reintroduced it, whilst explaining some of the backstory, but also revealing his character with his new plan... perfection. Absolutely perfection. And that episode is so good with the reveal of him as well. All classic Who fans will have known that was Davros straight away. Most new Who fans wouldn't have known who that was, so when the reveal happened, it was still shocking for absolutely everyone. The new era sucked with it.
He has clearly completely lost the ability to take time with characters and reintroducing them, because it's gone to the Chibnall era levels of just having characters standing there talking about it instead of actually fleshing anyone out. The over-reliance on flashbacks in this episode are just laughable. Seriously, this episode is just 50% flashbacks. It even does flashbacks to the same fucking episode. There is so much convenience, like having the unit iPad just coming into existence, and Ruby just remembering everything for some reason and turning up at the Doctor's door. Murray Gold's clearly trying with all of his might to carry this episode on its back, and it does bring this episode up ever so slightly. The sound design is great as well. The Bone Palace and the Bone Dinosaur things look really cool, but the dynamic between the two Ranis just makes no sense whatsoever. How are you going to have Mrs. Flood teased for 2 whole seasons with her constant fourth wall breaking, which is never explained, by the way?
Never seen a TARDIS before.
No, fuck off. No. Just to have her abused by the other Rani and to have her making sandwiches for Conrad. Like, are you okay? No. This did not fill me with confidence for the finale.
This series really just cataclysmically fell off a cliff. It catastrophically, pterodactyly just fell off a cliff. Big time.
I tell you, this episode is going in stinky. The reality war. Damn, the last 3 episodes haven't gotten my juices pumping, and that last episode has put a little doubt in my mind. I'm really hoping we don't get a repeat of season 1. There were very strong rumours that Ncuti Gatwa would be regenerating in this episode. However, it wasn't quite confirmed. So this was a huge thing playing on my mind throughout watching this episode. And of course, I took a trip to the cinema to watch this episode. And I will say, Wishworld is actually kind of better in the cinema than watching it from home. But that lingering thing in the back of my brain just saying, please don't let me down, please don't let me down, please don't let me down. Hey guys, remember that super duper epic cliffhanger? Yeah, forget it. It's just resolved within 20 seconds. You're welcome. Haha. Wow, thank God Anita returns from the Christmas special to save the Doctor from inevitable death with her magic door. Wow, how lucky. Yeah, there's even more fan service when she opens all of these doors to the Doctor's past. Holy schmoly, a Matt Smith and not David Tennant flashback? That's epic.
That's crazy.
I can open a door anywhere.
Yeah, so just remember that, guys, when you're next gooning, you might look up and find Anita just stood there. Anita's only purpose in this episode is...
What a stupid joke.
hold open a door. That's just great, innit? That's just great. The Doctor just epically changes into his outfit, although where he got this outfit from makes no sense. Weren't you just wearing trousers, man? Whatever. Anyways, unit gets reset. Oh, great. Rose is back. Why? Why are you there? So these two realities are colliding, and it's
her character annoys me. So stupidly wasted.
Poppy is real. Wow. And then Kate wakes up all of her sleeper agents. I like how they had to do that off screen. What a pointless joke that was.
I'll do anything for you, mistress.
Don't say that.
Mummy?
Serve olives with those dimples.
Yes, please, mummy. I mean 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 mummy. Mummy. We then get an 11-minute scene of even more exposition explaining who the Rani is. Oh my god, we get it. She's bad, man. Even Mel is just here to say the Rani is a super duper mini pants. Actually, yes, I'm not a fan. Great. Thanks, Mel.
I'm just so baffed as to how, like, Russell T Davies, of all people, turned into Chris Chibnall in this series. All of the main criticisms of the Chibbers is exactly what Russell did in the last series. And I'm trying not to get angry again thinking about it, because I don't know if you guys know, but I may have mentioned it once or twice. I did recently meet Russell T Davies, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's quite a fun video. It made me reflect on, like, how angry I was at him, and said to him, like, and I have to try and remember, he might not have been the entire influence on this series, right? There's obviously Disney executives, BBC getting involved, other TV higher-ups, like, probably dictated a lot of what could and couldn't be in these episodes. So I don't think Russell is completely at fault. But scenes like this, like 11-minute scenes of them all just saying, the Rani's really bad, actually. The Rani's super bad. Did you know the Rani's bad? She once did things that were really bad. It's just tiring.
The Rani shows up and explains how she survived and how the Time Lords are now sterile or something. Okay, this is very evidently just Russell's lousy way of explaining away bi-generation. Cool. And this scene has some of the worst blocking I have ever seen in a TV show in my entire life. This is where the episode starts to shift its focus to Poppy. Yes, the baby from Space Babies. Okay. They agree to put Belinda and Poppy in this box to protect them. Oh, okay. See you later, Belinda, I guess. Yeah, you're not at all important. Get in that box. The scene is somewhat picked up when the Bone Beasts come to attack the unit tower. Honestly, I'm a little sucker for these epic sequences. Seeing the unit tower rotate as the weapons come out, damn, I thought it was pretty epic. Hey guys, let's just stand around and quickly introduce convenient technology whilst these bone dinosaurs are shooting down the building. That's an excellent idea. Let's do that.
Oh, I tricked her.
Copied recording.
Flashback to the same scene, by the way.
Yeah, the Doctor gets on his flicker scooter, and I love this bit. When the Doctor just occasionally turns into an action hero briefly, yeah, it's pretty badass.
Just shut up and go!
Ugh. Man, Shooty was so wasted. Oh guys, brace yourselves for this. Omega is returning. What the fuck? Yes, I kid you not, that is actually how they get rid of the Rani in this episode. We've just had an 11-minute sequence explaining who the Rani is just to have her munched. Mrs. Flood then does a terrible Two Ronnies reference and just dips. That is heckin' right, guys. 2 seasons worth of cameos, cringy fourth wall breaking, just for the Rani to be munched by a crusty skeleton.
Oh my god, just seeing that again has just triggered like all of my anger again. Holy, that is bad. To have an 11-minute sequence of them explaining why the Rani is a bad person. Just to have her quite literally picked up and eaten, and that's the resolution.
This is the point in the cinema where I realised,
we have a problem. We have a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems.
Hey guys, do you remember when Russell T Davies said he changed the look of the sonic screwdriver because it looked like a gun? Oh, okay, yeah. So that's Omega sorted, wow. And just as a little sweet little cherry on top of the cake, Ruby wishes for Conrad to simply be happy. This is where he gets a lovely sweet ending where he was just this misunderstood guy and now he's just super lovely. In a matter of 2.5 minutes, they somehow defeated and removed all 4 villains from the episode.
Oh, that's insane! All 4 villains done, wiped out in 2 minutes. I would like to see the original script for this episode because I want to see if the resolution was still the same. Because I can't imagine they refilmed all those bits.
I'm pretty sure the resolution must have still been the same, but either way, I don't know. I remember thinking in the cinema, hey, there's no way this episode is nearly finished. It's only been 30 minutes, and half of that was spent in the unit building, standing around chatting. Well, don't worry, guys, we've still got 35 minutes to go, yeah? So Belinda and Poppy are fine. They then ship the Wishworld baby off to Carla, and then there's the scene in the TARDIS in which Ruby notices the coat getting smaller and smaller, which was very interesting. It's a clear indication that something is still very wrong. And then it just goes on to more of this, Poppy isn't real, but is real, but isn't real, but is real. And it just goes on for ages. We then get one of the worst lines of dialogue in the show's history.
Sometimes I think we're all your children.
I think Murray Gold... One of my viewers said that they can't ever watch that scene without thinking of my reaction to that. That makes me laugh. It's so pompous. It's actually ridiculous. I think Murray Gold's music is one of the most integral parts and factors as to why the reboot of this show was such a success. But no matter how loud you make his music in this scene, it's not touching or moving in any way. The Doctor then says a line that confirmed the lingering thought in the back of my brain.
Oh man, I like this face.
Oh, he's actually going to regenerate. So he has to Everyone's faces, I remember at the cinema, everyone's faces just lifted up when they said that. They were like, oh, because it was still not confirmed at that point. So when he said, man, I like this face, and everyone was like, oh shit, it's going to happen. He's actually going to regenerate. So he has to reset reality and uses his regeneration energy to do so. Damn, the Doctor is really that powerful that he can just do that. Do you remember when the show was simply about a guy travelling in a box? Yeah, forget that now. And of course, we have to see all of the Doctor's previous faces again. It's not like they did that in literally the last episode already. No, we'll do it again. And then we get a surprise cameo from the 13th Doctor. Why? Now listen. I am always happy to see a Doctor return, even if it is the 13th Doctor. But it's just pointless. If you're gonna do fan service, have him visit the Guardians of the Edge again, because that would actually make sense. But yeah, he uses his regeneration energy and the screen goes all cracky and stuff. This is when we get the scene that is the ultimate nail in the coffin, Belinda's character assassination. I felt so uneasy throughout this whole scene, because the way this was shot and the way Belinda's character had been completely reset made it feel as if reality was still very wrong. But no, Belinda is just a single mother now, and the companion that actually joined the Doctor has been wiped and reset. I think that's why I was so unhappy, right? Because at this point in the cinema, I was sat there feeling uncomfortable because I wasn't feeling satisfied with the resolution. I didn't know that was the end of the episode, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, part of me was still going, something's not right. Something is not right here. The story isn't resolved because something's not right. So when the episode was like, no, this is it now. This is right. I felt uncomfortable. And therefore, that's how you know something ain't adding up. Forget your career and who you were before, Belinda. You have now become the exact thing the last episode was satirising. What an awful ending to a companion this was. They say their goodbyes and the Doctor heads back to the TARDIS. Is he going to say goodbye to Ruby? Nah, fuck her, that's not needed, is it? Nah, we just left her in a state of pure panic. We don't need to say goodbye to her. So after that goodbye and all of the cheap fan service and Russell's aim to revive the show and move the show forward, we are reintroduced to... Jesus Christ. The more I think about this, the angrier I get. Now, as I will always say, I'm never against a former actor returning, as long as it's within reason. This is the latest and most ridiculous stunt from Russell T Davies in an attempt to generate content. See, I don't know if Russell T Davies is to blame for this. I don't know. I mean, I realised, as I said, that he is in control of casting. Okay, never mind. I can't think of anything. Nope. And as a result of this, they've shot themselves in the foot, because now they're frantically trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with it. I initially tried to defend the episode's strange ending. Due to last minute changes and Shooty leaving, I can understand it was probably pretty frantic. However, just leave it open-ended, man. Russell seems to have indulged in his own fan fiction than actually doing anything that makes any sense. And to leave Doctor Who on that horrendous, sour note, as the future of the show is still up in the air, is insulting. This episode is tragic from start to finish, it is so lazily written. Every plot thread in this episode was wrapped up so poorly. How is anyone supposed to take it seriously?
God.
The only thing I liked about this episode was the Doctor on his little flicker scooter. I distinctly remember that I could feel my optimism and excitement slowly draining from me as this episode went on. It took me a month to fully comprehend this episode, and it's why this video has taken so long to come out. Everything about this episode is a disaster. The character assassination, the lazy fan service, the terrible resolutions, Conrad getting a happy ending despite being one of the most flat characters of the entire era, whose only purpose was for you to hate him, is just laughable. This episode genuinely hurt me, man. It's nothing like I've ever experienced with this show. Man, I am putting this episode in god awful.
I mean, looking at that tier list, that's not a good series of Doctor Who, is it? Holy majoli. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's insulting. And rewatching this video has revitalised my anger. It took me a long time to calm down after this episode. I mean, it's so sad when you see a show that you love just being ripped apart from the inside out. Especially when it's already up against, like, today's culture as well. It's just difficult. It's just difficult. And the show doesn't help itself. I've said this countless times. The show really doesn't help itself. I don't know why the show doesn't just go back to basics. Make the episodes an hour, have an overall season arc, and go back to basic storytelling. It's really not that fucking difficult. But the show massively overcomplicates it for itself, and it just... oh, man, it just gets us all annoyed. This is where I get really sad and angry. So, yeah, buckle up, guys, for the ending.
Well, there you guys have it. That is my Season 2 tier list. It's completely understandable as to why Ncuti left, but man, he was the definition of wasted potential. He had moments where he shone, but more often than not, he was absolutely wasted or let down by the writing. Ncuti did what he could, and I thoroughly enjoyed him. He had an absolutely infectious energy and sass that just worked well for him. Ncuti is a great comedic actor, but having him cry one scene to being sassy bad bitch the next just made it impossible to relate to him sometimes, and this is purely the fault of Russell T Davies and not Ncuti Gatwa. The start of this series was a glimmer of hope, a realisation that the show still has something within it. Lux was a massive success. Mr. Ring-a-Ding went absolutely viral and was being shown to non-Doctor Who fans. This just showed that when Doctor Who does something original and creative, it can still attract new people. To then follow it up with a Midnight sequel, which was good, but relied on the show's past when it really didn't need to then just digress into even more fan service and reliance on its past, absolutely destroyed this series. The endless bringing back old characters and old villains that most people have very little knowledge on completely alienated anyone new watching, and oftentimes left long-term fans scratching their head. What's going to happen with Susan now? Probably nothing. What was the point in teasing the fugitive Doctor? And what's going to happen with her? Probably nothing. What's going to happen with Rogue and that love story? Probably nothing.
Damn.
What was the point in the Mavity thing? What's happening with that? Probably nothing. We had Davros, brought back and changed. We had the Toymaker, brought back and changed. We had Sutek, brought back and changed. We had Omega, brought back and changed. And most of them not for the better. Does that sound like a show that's trying to reset and move forward?
Oh Lord.
No. How can a TV show with this premise have so many creative possibilities be reduced to this convoluted, self-congratulatory, inconsistent drivel is absolutely beyond me. This show has seen a dark last 10 years, but man, have I stuck with it. But that series finale was a seriously harsh slap in the face telling me, what the hell am I doing still standing by this? This era was genuinely like being in a toxic relationship, being gaslit into thinking things are going to be good, to then being insulted the following week, being constantly lied to about what's actually going on, and at some point, enough is enough. I'm not trying to make this dramatic and all about wah me, but also wah me, man. And out of all of this, I am left genuinely hurt by a man that I looked up to so much. Russell's thought process throughout all of this was evidently just, hey, whatever generates content. And to be fair, Russell's achieved that, except this time it was mostly bad content. Him constantly making strange creative decisions because he thinks it will be marvellous or absolutely fabulous, or because it's been in his head for a while and he's not actually thinking about whether or not it makes any sense. It's just become a thing of fan fiction, and all I can say as well, right, if you go back and watch Doctor Who Confidential compared to Doctor Who Unleashed, you can see night and day the difference in the passion and the drive from the creative teams. Doctor Who Confidential, like series 1 to 4, anyone that likes to say like, oh, the Stephen Moffat era was the golden era, blah, 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 watch Doctor Who Confidential for series 1 to 4. It really shows how loving and supportive and passionate the Doctor Who team was back then, including Russell T Davies. Like, everything is so meticulously thought out and cared about and like really taken into account before putting it out on screen. It's so bittersweet to watch. I don't get that same sense of unity from the Doctor Who team today. Obviously, we've got the same people. We've got Phil Collinson, we've got Julie Gardner, we've got Russell T Davies. There's something massive that's missing, and I do think it's that unity and creativity, the passion and the love that's just not been there. It's sad to see. And obviously, I love Russell. I recently met the guy. I don't know if I told you. And I think meeting him made me see things in a slightly different light. I'm not as feeling as harsh about it now. But at the same time, I do think my criticisms are completely valid, and I'm within my right to feel upset about this. It's just sad. Gone are the days of compelling stories with brilliant character writing. All of the things that Russell T Davies is very well known for. Everything that made his first era such a success, he did not bring into this era. Gone are the days of Yana, Bad Wolf, the bees disappearing, to having lazy cheap cameos from a pensioner leading to absolutely nothing. In fact, he loved it so much, he did it twice, in the exact same way. Man, I've stood by this show through everything, coming back week in, week out, overly defending it sometimes, being purposely ignorant to some of its flaws simply because of the impact this show had on my childhood, and the fact that Doctor Who has been a comfort for me my entire life. As I enter my mid to late 20s, I have watched the last remaining element of my childhood be stripped and effectively destroyed. And because I'm a complete mug, I will stand by it, and I will come back, simply because I love and I care about this show. Maybe I just need to speak to a therapist. But Russell, I have been angry at people, I've hated people, I have lost people, but I have never ever been so genuinely let down by someone I admire so much. And as dramatic as that sounds, that's just how I feel, man. I don't want to talk about this era anymore, and I think I'm done with it. I want to go back to talking about Torchwood, Sarah Jane, and just the times in which people clearly cared about the Doctor Who universe and weren't putting all their energy in scoring points over their haters and writing nonsensical fan fiction. I'm done. Bazinga. I really got that off my chest, to be fair. That's why I made this channel. This video. It was a challenge to make, and I put it right down to the wire. I gave myself a deadline for this video because if I didn't, this video would never have come out, because I just didn't want to make it at all. And I know to anyone that isn't a Doctor Who fan, they're going to think I'm being way dramatic and over the top, but that's fine. I don't expect most people to understand why this affects me so much, but I know a lot of you watching this video will relate to how I'm feeling. And that's exactly why I made this channel, to speak about how I feel about Doctor Who. I love this show to bits, but man, it is getting tiresome. But hey, the show's on a pause. I don't know for how long, to be honest. I'm not complaining. We've still got the war between the land and the sea to come yet. Don't know if that's going to be any good, but I'm definitely not getting my hopes up. Thank you, and goodbye. God, we've even got rain. Look at that. Damn, what a sad ending to the video. I'm pretty sure this video is privated now, isn't it?
I'm alive. I'm very much alive. What the heck in flip has happened?
I didn't realise I privated this video. Well, I think that concludes the video. I'm very clearly upset. Doesn't time fly? Stop it! That concludes this video. I was expecting to disagree a lot more with my Season 2 review, but actually I don't think I did. It actually has made me it's just made me remember how angry I was and how valid I was to feel that way, to be honest. Obviously, I'm going to rewatch all of the episodes again to get a re-understanding. I am starting again, by the way. I'm planning on the new tier list video to be massive. I want it to be like not just the same as the other tier list videos, but I want it to have a bit more production value to it. So there's a lot of planning to go into it. I've got 6 months to work on it, so I've got a lot to do. Obviously, in the meantime, you are going to get Sarah Jane Adventures, you're going to get Torchwood, and Doctor Who. I was going to plan on going outside of Doctor Who, but there's still so much to do. There's still so much work to do. Maybe it's right to hold it off until after we see this Christmas special, if there is going to be a Christmas special. I don't know. Knowing my luck, there's going to be a huge announcement right after this video drops, knowing this. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If any of your opinions have changed on this era, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And other than that, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you and get to work on my next big video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll freaking see you later.